So hold up, David is radioactive octopus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh dear, Miles, what's going on there?
And Myles is going to war in the background.
I
Myles,
was
are
just
you okay?
moving my
Are
chair.
you alive, buddy?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, that's also true.
Here I've ever heard.
Fantastic.
It's a loud chair.
Yeah. Actually, wait a minute. Oh wow, my mic doesn't pick that up. Fantastic. My chair
Doesn't
is
pick the chair up? Oh, your
yeah,
chair.
my chair is the squeakiest thing in the world. I have no idea why.
Clearly.
Tightened the screws, refitted it, rebuilt it from the ground up, still squeaky as ever.
We are both on wooden dining room chairs right now, so, you know.
Solid stuff. Solid
Serious
stuff.
business.
Dinner with the family.
Yeah.
This is intimate, you know?
Right?
I've set up
Real
some
bonding
candles.
moment.
Yeah.
Yo's
Yeah.
got some steak. Well done.
I will
We
say,
did that.
I was a little worried about tonight because apparently there's supposed to be this really big solar flare happening.
Yeah, I heard about that. I've seen people, like, posting some photos of, like, what are they? Not northern lights, but just lights in the sky.
No, yeah, it's like Northern Lights is
Pretty
one of
crazy.
the terms you could use, or Aurora Borealis if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, David actually has some friends in Florida that posted some images, so it's pretty far south. Yet here we
Whoa,
see
Southern
nothing.
Lights.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Well, I guess it's safe to say we are ready to start. Gentlemen, how do we feel?
Pretty good.
Just came back from work. Bloody.
Just chilling out. Isn't it like midnight for you over there? You just came back
Yeah.
from work?
Yeah, it's
I work an afternoon
Oh, that's
shift, 3
rough.
to 11.
So energized and ready to go. No better time for this.
yep. Time zones, baby. Alrighty then. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Lone Colony podcast. It has been a while again. Joining me as usual, it's MP King or Myles, and
Hi.
Radioactive Octopus or David.
It's me.
And gentlemen, joining us today, very special guests, hailing in from the land down under the land down under.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Please welcome Jasher and Micah Drake of Podzilla. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, our pleasure. Great to be here.
Yeah, we're stoked to be here. Repod's been a good mate of ours for a while, so it's good to be here on the Lone Colony.
Yeah. Oh, dead silence, fantastic. Thank you, David and Mike.
That's how it is.
Isn't it? It's good to be here, isn't it? I feel good to be here.
It's pretty nice.
Lone Colony's the place to be, is what I've heard.
Thank you. Alrighty, well, gentlemen, on the date this comes up, on May 16th, 10 years ago, a little film would come out, and this would be a game changer for the entertainment industry for the next 10 years. This little film is, of course, Godzilla 2014. Now, on this day, we're not only celebrating the 10th year anniversary of Godzilla coming back, or this film specifically, but we are also celebrating what is arguably one of the more successful cinematic universes in the past decade, really. That being the MonsterVerse. So for today's episode on the Lone Colony, we are going to be looking back at the past 10 years of this cinematic universe since its inception to now, which got some big news. Which great timing on you, David, for picking today.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the odds were low.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
So
The exact day. Okay.
yeah,
okay, yeah,
exact
that,
day.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that,
good on
that.
us for choosing the day. We all knew beforehand.
Perfectly planned.
Yeah, you
Rolled
guys.
away.
Yeah, actually, you could get like some pretty good tax cuts from filming in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's doing it now. I was watching the new Planet of the Apes movie, stayed around till the credits, and then there it is. Was made in conjunction with the New Zealand Film Commission. Everyone's just getting that free money to make movies.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like a huge controversy with the Hobbit movies? Like I saw Jenny Nicholson's video. No, not Jenny Nicholson. No, I think she mentioned a video, but it was Lindsay Ellis made a video on the Hobbit movies
Right.
and like how bad. Like there was like this whole controversy around like the reasons they filmed in New Zealand and stuff. Like I forget the points though.
Yeah. I don't know the specifics either, but I think especially during COVID, a lot of films came over here to make their movies so that they could make it.
Right.
For one, because we didn't really have COVID wasn't as rampant over here, but two, yeah, they all got a bit of money, a fund towards their film. So we're seeing it done more and more. Let's just hope the next Godzilla and Kong movie gets made. Maybe we can audition. We'll see
Oh
what
yeah,
happens.
for sure.
It's up.
Although you guys do have one of the big VFX studios there, being Weta Digital, which
Yeah,
actually helped
that's
a lot with a lot of the MonsterVerse movies. Actually helped finalize the
very
design
right.
of Godzilla 2014.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently it was their production
That's
house
super
and
cool.
their concept artist that helped narrow down the design. And
We
I
can
think
hold
they're
that flag high now.
yeah, and I think they were also responsible for actually making the CG model. But before we like go on this tangent, because this is a great place to start, but I think I want to start off by saying, made a big ball about this being 10 years old, and I think, like personally for me, I didn't think we'd make it here. So I'd present to all of you. Did you guys think that the MonsterVerse would make it this far as it did?
Oh, never in 1,000 years.
I would say, like, I thought maybe we'd get, like, 3 movies and then it would be quits.
Yeah, that was the initial plan, actually.
Godzilla versus Kong was already felt like a pipe dream until Kong Skull Island, but even then it's like you don't really believe it until it happens.
Yeah, well,
And
until
then-
it actually happens.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Godzilla 2014 in theaters. Did anyone else here? Did anyone see it in...
Day one.
Me and David
Yeah?
went there day one. We made a whole day of it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
we were
Yeah, so I
we were
can't even
high
imagine,
schoolers,
like...
right?
Yeah, like
Yeah, and I was the same. I was a high schooler, seeing that in theaters, and I could not imagine that will turn into what we're getting now, right?
Yeah.
Especially Kong coming into the picture, and then something as big and bombastic as Godzilla X Kong. It's pretty cool.
yeah, what we did with Godzilla 2014 actually was we invited a bunch of our friends, and I think we had enough that we took up 2 entire rows of the theater when we went to watch it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and one of David's friends, a good friend of mine now, actually, when Godzilla did his kiss of death and he's just kind of holding the Muto's head, he just, like, started clapping, and then everyone just, like, erupted into applause as well. It's like, yeah, Godzilla!
This guy is like the guy we're talking about is one of those hyper people I've ever met, and it was so funny too because we were leaning over to each other when Godzilla was like grappling the Muto's mouth, and we're like, oh, he's gonna like do the King Kong, we call it the King Kong. Is he gonna King Kong him, like rip off the jaw or something? And then
Yeah.
that happens, and like my mind just like melted into pain.
I remember as soon as that atomic breath like lit up and went down the Muto's throat, you hear this like audible gasp radiate out of the theater. Like everyone just kind of went, "Oh damn, he actually did that."
Like it's brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, a retrospective for 2014. We're talking about the ending.
I mean, yeah, this is going to be like an open floor discussion. Like, it's not going to be really organized, so we can like hop between titles here and there and just discuss
Yeah.
how things worked and other things that didn't. But yeah,
Well, I guess like Micah, because you didn't see Godzilla 2014 in theaters.
No,
You watched it for the first time earlier this year.
I'm the odd one out here. So out of all the MonsterVerse, the only one I saw at the theaters prior to this year was Kong Skull Island. So I'm a little late to the party, but even then, like hearing that Kong Skull Island was in development, your mind instantly went to, oh my gosh, it's happening. They're laying the groundwork for Godzilla X Kong. That's where it was all leading to from there. and to hear that even more movies were announced and have started to release post that, it's actually like starting to flourish into its own universe and kind of setting its own place in the modern cinemascape, which
Yeah.
is really cool to see.
Yeah, I definitely say one of the big advantages the MonsterVerse kind of has is like compared to other cinematic universes where it's usually just the one property, like Marvel, and then you have access to all the Marvel characters, or DC, and you have access to all the DC characters. And even like the Dark Universe, a lot of the monsters that were supposed to be in that were
The
previously
Dark Universe.
were previously owned by Universal. But
Yeah.
the thing about the MonsterVerse is it's the first cinematic universe that really takes two IPs that hadn't been together in the past 60 years or so back together again. And it's almost like this once in a blue moon kind of occurrence where we get these two characters to come together. And in terms of where the MonsterVerse could go from there, they could build up on that and make it even more unique, and not only be second when it comes to like Godzilla vs. Kong, but could also be the first to introducing other potential crossovers.
Yeah, it's a good
I mean-
point, because the only other franchise that might have done it is like Alien versus Predator, right? But even
I was
then,
gonna bring up Alien vs.
like,
Predator.
yeah.
Actually,
But Godzilla and King Kong's so different because Godzilla did originally go up against King Kong in the Showa era, and there was this huge stretch of time when they weren't even connected to one another before they were brought back together in the MonsterVerse. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool and pretty unique for a property to do that.
there was an attempt made in the 90s, if I remember correctly, but the rights were so confusing
really?
for... Yeah, so I think it was supposed to be for Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Originally it was supposed to be a remake of Godzilla vs. King Kong, but trying to obtain the rights back for Kong proved pretty difficult, and also one of the head creators of Kong was kind of spiteful towards Toho, I think, because of the whole debacle back in the 60s with King Kong vs. Godzilla. But yeah, they weren't able to get
He
the
looked
rights.
like shit in the movie.
I'm glad someone said it.
Yeah. But yeah, basically
They
like
did him so bad.
yeah. But yeah, they tried to make another Godzilla vs. King Kong film. They weren't able to obtain the rights. Then they tried to make a Godzilla vs. Mechanicon film, but again, it's Mechanicon kind of fell into that licensing hole again with King Kong. So they just kind of
wasn't
went.
that kind of like in between? Because it's not necessarily a Toei property, but also not like. obviously
Yeah,
part
the
of
Kong's
Toho?
license is pretty confusing.
No, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
No,
No,
because
yeah.
Toei is a different thing.
I know.
You know.
Toho, it's Toho. Don't worry.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
We'll forgive you.
Like we said, perfect time.
I'm still, you bringing up the way Kong looks in the Showa era is still, that's where I'm still stuck on. I've just got those lanky arms stuck in my mind's eye right now.
Yeah, and that
That
plastic
face.
Arms.
Yeah.
What about
That's
his
a weird
damn
face,
face.
yeah.
his smashed in, disfigured, like,
His painted
It's
on
like a bad
eyes.
potato head.
dopey ass, ugly ass.
I still get PTSD to this day.
Yet we all still wait for the day MonsterVerse Kong gets electric powers. Give us some show homage.
I mean, he has a robot arm now. It's not that far of a stretch anymore.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah,
the
we're
arm
super
can do
close,
electric
right?
shit. The arm has the electric punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have it. He just never used it. Or
So
used
does
it
he
like
really have it?
Full Mechanicon is going to happen sometime real soon.
Oh yeah, I have a
my
theory
favorite.
because he has the metal tooth, he has the metal hand. How long before everything else starts becoming mechanized?
He's just
The,
gonna
is
turn
he
into
gonna
it.
become the Cog of Theseus? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Next
how
movie,
many pieces
Mechanic
can you
Elbow.
replace? How many pieces can you replace off Kong before? Is the Kong, is all the body parts of Kong the real Kong, or is Mechanic the real Kong?
Will the ape remain? That's the question.
Oh no. Man, if Kong keeps taking L's, they might need to.
I mean,
sorry.
he does take it 8L a movie. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
rightfully so.
He took
Rightfully
two in
so.
versus Kong because he lost on the boat. And then he loses against Godzilla.
The boat is so unfair, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in fucking X-Kong, he gets robbed. And then he gets his arm fucked. And then he gets chased away. And then Godzilla beats his face in on fucking sight. It's a rough life out there.
They
for
need
the
to get his
big guy.
face looking like the Showa era face somehow. Right? Take a few punches to the face, a few more owls, he'll slowly get there.
Mothra showed up to save his fucking
Yeah.
dignity
Yeah.
more than anything.
Oh god, he wasn't ready. I think in the novelizations for Godzilla X Kong, there was a little excerpt about how Kong kind of understood Godzilla. I think that's
Godzilla didn't understand
Godzilla's
him.
fucking angry all the time. He's not listening yet.
yeah. Oh
How
man.
much like the novelizations and stuff is pieces of media I haven't even delved into. On Podzilla, we've just recently started going through the MonsterVerse graphic novels. But how far are you guys across all the other like comics and novelizations?
The tie-in media.
Yeah,
Ask Rahul. I'm not really much for tie-in stuff personally.
Right.
So.
yeah.
So
Few of the comics.
I've read most of them. The only comics I haven't
That's
read
awesome.
are Godzilla Dominion, Kingdom Kong, and everything after. I'm waiting to get the omnibus at this point. As for the novelizations, I started reading the King of the Monsters novelization. I'm at the point where King Ghidorah broke out of the ice and everyone's like trying to figure out what Emma's motives are. So not too far in, but I've noticed that there are some pieces that allude to future MonsterVerse films in the novels. Like,
Ooh, future installment.
yeah, so like, for example, when... what was his name again?
Eco-terrorist guy?
No, Chandler's character.
Oh, Wolf.
Oh, Mark
yeah.
Russell.
Mark
Rules
Russell.
for
Mark
days.
Russell.
How could you forget him? How
Yeah.
could you forget my man Kyle Chandler?
I'm
Please.
sorry.
I think you're a professional.
I'm sorry. Ah.
I
Anyway.
make no apologies.
I'm taking that personally right now.
Anyways, there's some the part where Mark runs out of the Osprey to save his ex-wife and daughter. Serizawa had a little monologue where he mentions Ren by name.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And part of me is thinking if this was part of the original script, if this was like planned out ahead, because King of the Monsters and versus Kong was developed around the same time, or at least post-production was done around the same time, I think. So,
Crazy,
At
really?
the very least, I wouldn't be surprised for maybe scenes that were left on the cutting room floor to have a higher chance of appearing in those novels.
yeah. And then another example would be in Godzilla X Kong, where man, I am just off my game today. Well,
You're not forgetting Kyle Chandler again, are you?
no, not Kyle Chandler. The
good.
main
Cool.
scientist character in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire.
Irene?
Yes.
Skarsgård?
No. Irene. Yeah.
Irene Andrews?
Yeah, Irene Andrews. When she was reading the tablets about the past events in the Hollow Earth, you know, the Great War between Godzilla and the Great Apes,
Yes, yes.
Monkeys.
she translated the name for Godzilla as the one who ate the star, which is actually a
That's
name that
right.
was given to him in the Godzilla vs. Kong novelization. I remember hearing that. It's like, what? Novel reference!
They're actually tying some of it together? That's pretty cool.
It's kind of
'Cause
weird.
a lot of the comic stuff they've just forgotten about, but it's cool to see those threads that they have actually taken on board and that have actually like shaped the franchise in some way.
Yeah.
It's common to see the tie-in media referencing the movies, but very rare in this universe, especially, to see the movies reference the tie-in media.
Because
Yeah.
am I right that like, because we read Godzilla Awakening, which is the tie-in graphic novel for Godzilla 2014,
Yeah,
and there's a whole other kaiju in that. What's the kaiju's name? Is it
Shinamura.
Shinamura? Or am
Yeah.
I-
Shinamura.
Shinamura. And I'm pretty sure that's referenced in like the Godzilla King of the Monsters novelization.
Yes,
which is
it
pretty
was.
cool that they're still
Yeah.
tying some of those threads together.
Yeah, but not referenced in the movie, sadly.
One day.
But I
One
think,
day.
yeah, but I definitely think like one of the biggest references that happened thus far has to be Tiamat, who was a comic original monster, and not only that, but her design in Godzilla X Kong reflects that of the design seen in the comics, which was
It's all
Yeah.
to one. I think like the movie one has like little arms that the comic one doesn't. But other than that,
detailed.
There's a lot more red and pinks on her too in the movie.
I mean, that could be because she was absorbing the cosmic radiation, like Godzilla.
I think it was just her
She's
own
becoming
blood.
pinker.
I think so. I think it's just lighting, like
I mean, she
I think it
pink.
was just because it looked sick.
Yeah, this is probably
It did
it.
look pretty sick.
I mean,
If you think
Pink-
about it, she's just North Kai.
No, not the eyes. Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean that
Me and
was
Myles, me and Myles just like finished that like entire series like a few weeks ago.
Yo, can we change this to a Dragon Ball retrospective real quick?
Yeah. Yo,
Wait,
R.I.P.
no.
Toriyama the goat.
Yeah, man.
Actually, Toriyama was a
in peace.
Godzilla fan.
Godzilla. Well, fucking in OG Dragon Ball, there's like this baby Gamera first of all.
Yeah.
Zilla's
Gamera
watching
did it
the
quite a
World
bit.
Martial Arts Tournament as well.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot
with
of
Ghidorah.
Godzillas.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. We
And then it came back around because Godzilla Evolved is based on Goku's Kaioken, which he uses to beat Vegeta in like DBZ's first arc. So it really just comes back around. It always comes back to Dragon
Yeah.
Ball.
I haven't watched much Dragon Ball, but I gotta say, Godzilla X Kong seemed very Dragon Ball. Like,
Oh,
you
it's
could tell
so
there was
Dragon Ball.
inspiration there.
yeah.
Dragon Ball. Godzilla's literally Goku. You look strong, fights.
Godzilla's been Goku for every single MonsterVerse movie.
Fight me.
So wait, when Godzilla is supercharged, is he just Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or just Super
No,
Saiyan
that's
God?
Kaioken.
That's
No,
Kaioken. We got
supercharged when he ate the reactor and he's all blue.
Oh, that's
Super
Let's go
Saiyan
for
God
it.
Did someone
blue.
say Kyle?
Kaioken.
Kyle Ken.
You're like, we're gonna have a fight. We're gonna have a fight over that character in a bit. It's gonna be fun.
Under Kyle?
You know what? Let's add some
fucking
let's add some fuel to the flames then. Who's
He's objectively wrong about wolves. That's a big
Hey, I thought coming here would be a Mark Russell safe space.
no.
I
Yeah.
thought we were all unified, all holding hands in our love for the actor Mark Russell.
Oh
so-
god, I rewatched King
choosing
of
to
the
believe it.
Monsters. It made me angry. Like, what is happening? Like, what?
You want to
What
talk
is
about being angry? Junkie XL's Mothra theme always pisses me off for some reason. I don't know what it is. Every time I hear
Why?
it, no, Junkie XL's theme for Mothra is honestly, I don't know what it is. It's just, it's not good. It's not good to be.
Yeah, I must admit, like, when I think about Mothra, even in the MonsterVerse, I still hear that theme that was played in King of the Monsters, when it was
Yeah.
pretty much the original Mothra theme. Like, that's what I still think of. I
Yeah,
can't really remember
my-
Junkie's take on it.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite soundtracks in the entire MonsterVerse has to be Mass Awakening. When you know, all the monsters start waking up, but then you like slow down near the end. The Mothra motif starts like coming in, and then you actually have the scene of Mothra. Like, even before I saw that scene in theaters, like, this soundtrack slaps hard. It's really good. But compare that with Junkie XL's theme, it's Junkie XL's take is kind of generic. I could see it like being part of a superhero movie, honestly. It doesn't really have that same kind of vibe that Bear McCreary brought with his own original score.
The, like, quiet mysticism to the whole thing and
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah. Well, McCreary. The thing with Bear McCreary is, I mean, his is a much more even though it's less generic, it's more traditional score. It's like your kind of usual orchestral or like orchestration and all, with those like with the very distinct vocal style for the choirs and all. And Junkie XL, he's known for like the like heavy on the electronics and the bass and all. Like I'll say for Junkie XL, like his Mad Max score, his Fury Road score, absolutely incredible, right? When it fits, it really
Yeah, I
works.
agree.
Following the big issue though is I mean, and to be fair, Adam Wingard straight up said like he thinks it's kind of a little tacky to just reuse themes. He likes making new ones. So what happens
Fair.
is, but the problem, which is fair enough, but the problem is the goal then was to just kind of mimic those classic themes to varying effects. Like Godzilla's theme, Junkie XL's version of Godzilla's theme, it's fine. Um, it's more a 5 to 10 second blurb that shows up every now and again. Really, his theme for Kong, it's not really a memorable theme, but it fits. King Kong also doesn't really have his own like classic theme song in the same way these other ones do. But for Mothra's, it's a serviceable like theme, but it's basically just, it's not even Mothra's theme, it's the Iwi's theme, just kind of vague,
Yeah, you're right.
angelic,
Yeah.
feel good track for when Mothra shows up to glow and do stuff, right?
Right.
Where it's like
Did Junkie XL? Sorry,
Yeah.
does Junkie XL do like he did a lot of DC movies, right? Did he do like the Justice
he
League?
does
Batman versus
he
Superman?
he's on he does a lot of Zack Snyder stuff, because a lot of composers just kind of like work a lot with certain directors. That's why Adam Wingard has him twice in this, right? And
Yeah.
he's also doing he's doing the Furiosa soundtrack, because him and I forget, I'm blanking out the director's name of those movies.
Yeah,
Lord.
George Miller.
Oh wait, no, not Lord. Was
It's
it
George
George
Miller,
Miller?
right?
Yeah, I think it was George Miller.
Yeah, George Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I don't know a lot of Junkie XL stuff outside of Mad Max,
Right.
which is an incredible
Yeah.
score, absolutely god tier soundtrack. So like, you know, he has the talent. He
Yeah, I
has the
agree. I
capability
think
to do
it's
something
just
special.
that point was good that it kind of sounds like it could be in a superhero film, because I think with Junkie XL stuff, I just think like Superman, Batman, Justice League, and it
Yeah.
feels very much in that vein, right?
It already feels so associated with those things that
Yeah.
when you bring it into other franchises, it mimics less it harkens less to what he's trying to take inspiration from, and it more so just makes you think about those other franchises instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that.
But
Yeah.
also, I think there's a little bit of like either he or Adam Wingard. I think there's a little bit of misdirection on Mothra's theme in particular, because it does sound just it's too upbeat, right? It doesn't really scream giant monster. Like, even once again, Godzilla's theme isn't the best, but it sounds like it's 10 tons. Like, it's just a heavy wah the whole time, right? Which does fit for like Godzilla and his attitude in those movies and stuff.
I'm really curious because there were those leaks that the cut monster of Phosphera was in the movie in Mothra's place.
Yeah.
I'm so curious at how much of that Mothra theme in particular was taken from what would have been Phosphera's theme.
Yeah, especially if it sounds very much like the Iwi theme. That makes a bit more sense, eh?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen? There's a leak from it's from the special editions. We now know what Phosphora would have looked like.
Yeah,
Have you seen that?
I've seen it.
I love it. Like, I know a lot of people don't, but I love it.
Yeah, it looks pretty
It
interesting.
looks so different that I kind of like it too.
I actually
haven't really seen
haven't seen
anything
that.
like it.
David, put it up in the chat.
I really want one of the tie-in media pieces to reference the fact that Phosphera had something to do with the Iwi. Well, give me like a backstory comic, Phosphera and Mothra duking it out.
Just the Batra fight all over again.
Yeah, Phosphera's the MonsterVerse Batra. I love it.
You know what? Replace the giant eagle from the Skull Island animated series with Phosphora. There you go.
Oh,
There's
there
a
you
place for
go.
her.
Oh God, making me remember the
We'll have to talk about it. This is a retrospective.
Joe.
But before we like continue,
Trust me.
since we're talking about soundtracks.
Oh yeah, it's in the
out-
chat. Sorry. It's in the chat bio.
I kind of dig it.
Yeah. Oh,
Who we lose?
Looks
We
like
lost
he
David.
He didn't dig
oh,
it. He
there
didn't
he
like
is.
Classic.
Technical.
Yeah.
I made mistakes.
All right. Before we move on, since we're on the topic of soundtracks, out of the I think it's 6 soundtracks right now, and composers, which one is your favorite out of the bunch?
That Splat Baby.
For me, it's Bear McCreary all the way. It's just those tracks really hit hard when you hear them going. What about
Yeah,
you?
Mine's
sorry.
probably,
Does my mic sound okay?
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
I'm
you're fine.
connected to
Yeah,
it?
that sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah, you sound good.
Mine's probably the Skull Island soundtrack, to be honest. I think was it Henry Jackman that did it?
Yeah, I think it was Henry Jackman.
Round
I
us
love
out,
the whole tone
Miles.
of that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the Go Go Godzilla.
Oh,
But
so
the
King of the
oyster cult?
Monsters.
That's King of the Monsters.
You know what?
I know.
I'm right there with you.
There's that song's just so fun.
Yeah. So wait,
Oh,
what
it's
is that? Like 3 King of the Monsters, 1 2014, and 1 Skull Island?
Yeah, I'll stand for Skull Island.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, Skull Island's theme is also pretty good.
Yeah,
I think
Kong
like the times
Destroyer
it
and
hits
stuff.
really emotional as well. Like when Hank Marlowe returns home at the end, the piece of music they
Yeah.
play subtly in the background. Like
There-
there's some really heavy-hitting emotional moments in that score that
Yeah.
I just adore.
There was this one piece of music which plays at a very unfortunate scene where, what was his name? He was one of the soldiers. He was trying to sacrifice himself to the the big skull crawler, and then she kind of swipes him away. If you hear the music, it's actually really beautiful. It's just a shame it was playing in in that moment because his sacrifice
It's
amounted
tied
to
to such
nothing.
Yeah.
It's tied to such a wacky theme.
Yeah.
I want to chuck in there. I'm surprised that it wasn't a unanimous vote for Monarch Legacy of the Monsters.
Monarch
Leopold
Legacy of
Ross.
Like the theme
Monsters.
song specifically, or
I
Those-
can't remember a single song from
You
the.
c- but
from
it's
the
your
show.
favorite, but you can't remember it.
No, that
Yeah,
one has a great
it's good.
score. I really want I'm so mad that like on the soundtrack it's just the tracks for the first 2 episodes. I really want I really want the track when Godzilla wakes up in the desert.
Yeah.
It sounds so awesome.
I think it's hard because the show's like so much is packed into 8 episodes that, especially after watching the whole thing, a lot of those themes and songs actually become quite underappreciated just because they're all jam-packed amongst one another.
There was a love theme I remember loving. I
They
really
might-
loved the love.
They
Mm.
they might sometimes when this happens with shows, season 2 will come out, and then on the season 2 soundtrack, they'll add all the ones from season 1, or at least the more significant ones
cool.
from season 1 that never made it.
Yeah.
And then no songs from season 2.
And then the season 3 soundtrack. That's the season 2 song.
And then when the final season comes out, none of those tracks release.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It's over.
Yeah.
TV show soundtracks. I mean, soundtracks in general. There's always like missing stuff, and sometimes really good stuff too.
I think the one thing that all the tracks definitely succeed at is giving the monsters a presence. Like, displayed soundtrack, I love the atmospheric feeling of it. Especially that one track that plays when we see the Muto cocoon for the first time in Janjiro.
Yes.
But then you have, like,
Yeah.
I love how Bear McCreary does all these different styles of themes for all the named monsters in King of the Monsters. Like Godzilla and Mothra themes are very traditional, but then Rodan's and King Ghidorah's themes are his own soundtracks rather than harkening back to the originals. And he puts in these like tribal chants, and they have some meaning to them. And it's really great. It's really fantastic. Angry Bongos gets loud for Rodan. Love that.
Yes. Can't
And,
beat
you
it.
know, despite me what I've said about Junkie XL, I really like his Godzilla vs. Kong track. Sure, it took me a while to warm up to it, but the Hong Kong track goes so hard, especially when you remember the scene it's attached to.
I'll say this. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just gonna
Nunchucks.
say it. Like one of the
Yeah.
main strengths and weaknesses of Junkie XL's tracks is that you're taken to the moment where they play, but at the same time you can't really listen to them in anything else. It's just in the moment kind of soundtracks for me.
Yeah. Part of it, I'll say this, to give him his flowers, part of it is that because it's partially how the movies are edited. They swap perspectives a lot, so the soundtrack's always changing. And this is the thing with a lot of modern movie soundtracks, where you don't have like singular pieces. It's more
Yeah,
like
it's with
suites,
themes, right?
Yeah, and they kind of go in and out, in and out. So it never feels like as a song would. But I'll say this though, something I do love about Junkie XL's score is when Godzilla evolves in X Kong, they added like a choir to Godzilla's theme, and like whenever he's like going somewhere, they play it, and it really captures that like a bad time is on its way. like nothing like whoever's on the receiving end of Godzilla, like that the theme very much tells you nothing good is about to happen to them, and it doesn't. Exactly what you think's about to happen happens. It's
Rest
so
in
good.
peace, Tiamat.
Yeah.
Rest in
Like when he's on his way to
like
sorry, when he's
the
on his
Godzilla
way
X Kong
to.
theme overall, pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, the main theme's good.
No, yeah.
And I love the techno aspects in the synth, and it's a shame that a lot of those bits that reminded me of like 80s, 90s action movies, which I think the Godzilla X Kong feels a bit like in general with its action sequences.
Yeah,
It's a shame that like those techno bits aren't really on the soundtrack as much as the other suites like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of fun with those moments.
Yeah.
There's a lot more scenes where there's just like songs like playing
Yeah.
too.
Right, yeah.
Like Kiss and
Trapper's
I,
entrance.
in versus Kong, I caught Judas Priest, like very 80s.
I love how Kong's presence in the movies always, without fail, just has a lot of those vinyl needle drops in them.
70s songs and stuff like that.
It's like whenever Kong's
Yeah.
in the movie, you know you're going to have some pop songs in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, so
Nothing beats. Sorry, I was gonna say for song. Last thing for song is Skull Island. Though nothing beats like when the helicopters are listening to I think it's like Black Sabbath's Paranoid, and but then it cuts when the tree hits them, like fades out.
yeah, and then it
slows
fades
down.
back
Slows
in.
down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good.
It's real cool. So good.
Yeah, that's just great editing. So
Kong Skull Island supremacy.
yeah.
Monkey supremacy.
Kong of the Planet of the Apes, baby.
Please.
I mean, there is that comic. Jason,
I
this
need
is
to
your
get to
chance. Do it. Go.
I know.
Go.
I know.
Do not give him any leeway.
My two loves. If only Kyle Chandler was in there too. If only.
Oh no. Alright, so circling
geez.
back a bit, so stepping away from music composers, we had a bit of a discussion about human characters. Who thus far is your favorite human character?
I want to say, especially with the recent movie, I think Gia has like saved herself a huge spot in the MonsterVerse so far.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I
She's
like
the best
Gia.
character.
It's cool
in
having her.
Those two, like, by far.
Yeah, having someone who has both. Well, there are a lot of those old. I want to say. Am I getting my eras right? There are a lot of those Heisei movies, like you had Miki as a younger character who
Right.
had a bit of a tie to those kaiju, and that she was the one who was able to communicate them. And I think having that aspect of, you know, a human vessel who is a bit closer to these kaiju than other characters is always super fun.
Yeah.
And even though I think I would have preferred an interpretation that was a bit closer to home with like Mothra and the Shobijin, I think having Gia as a stand-in in the most recent movie, it's still a benefit to her character, and having a character like that you can get behind, and she's just awesome. I
Yeah.
just love her.
Yeah. Yeah, she was, she definitely stepped up in GXK, but in GVK she was very much the heart of that movie as well. Yeah. What about everyone else?
Is it cheating to say Bryan Cranston? Because that's like the easiest.
Oh,
like,
I was about to say his
Veto!
answer.
Veto!
The
No, yeah.
easy answer
Yeah.
I think the problem with Bryan Cranston's character is it's
is
hard
that he
to
died.
it's hard to talk
Really,
about
really?
it's hard to talk about him without mentioning the fact, oh yeah, he dies halfway through the movie.
Not
Yeah,
even
man.
halfway, man.
What does he know? He's dead.
Yeah, to him it was the end of the movie, I guess.
He never even knew about Godzilla. Never knew.
But like, yeah, cause real shit. It's like, even in the later movies where I think I like a character, I don't love most of the characters, right? Like to me, most of them are fine enough to good, but not great. But Bryan Cranston, it's easy. It's like it's such a god tier performance that like yeah, he dies like I think at like the 30-minute mark or something.
Around
But
40,
like
yeah.
the performance sticks with you because it's so
I
like
know.
Yeah.
It's just so
it's
powerful.
unreasonably good.
Yeah.
It's like Oscar drama like
It's Bryan Cranston.
worthy good.
He did
Yeah, it's the guy from
play-
Malcolm in the Middle.
I was just about to say that. He played Malcolm's dad, his biggest role.
Yeah. Nothing else at all. No show that came out between 2012
No,
and
just Malcolm
2014.
in the middle.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Malcolm in the
I
Middle.
love
His
it
breakout
show
role.
freaking sad.
Yeah.
I was honestly though, I was about to say the same. Like I think the earlier MonsterVerse movies for me, Godzilla 2014 and Skull Island once again, have some of my favorite human characters in. Is it Joe Brody? His character,
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston's character in 2014, and then Hank Marlowe, John C. Reilly's character
Yeah.
in Skull Island.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's another one.
They just in those first couple movies, they really make you feel those characters' emotions.
Yeah.
And I feel like they focus on what they're dealing with and their kind of subplots throughout the films, quite a lot better than they might do in the later MonsterVerse movies. So I think those performances are my favorite.
Yeah, Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston
Oh,
with
you
their
can
stellar
kinda-
performances.
you can kinda forget
Yeah.
about
so
them.
memorable.
Yeah. I went down a rabbit hole
Ooh.
of the amount of people that ship those two characters online. The amount of fan cams and fan edits.
Is
Right.
it? It's
Brie
less
Larson
than
and
it's
Tom
less than the
Hiddleston.
people who ship Mothra and Godzilla.
Well, I
Seems
mean,
like
that
it's
one's
more, man.
canon.
The one thing I will say about Skull Island is it's such a shame because they have a great cast, but I'm always reminded about them every time I rewatch that movie. It's like, oh yeah, Tom Hiddleston's in this. Oh yeah, Brie Larson's
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah,
They're just
because the
generic
movie,
heroes almost.
Yeah.
no one's really a main character in that.
Yeah.
That's
I
why.
would say Samuel Jackson's character, kind of.
See right there, it's like he's
more
the
of a
villain.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But
Samuel
he's
Jackson-
also like one of the few human characters that I can remember.
Yeah. He's honestly
Like,
he's honestly one of the better human villains in the MonsterVerse, honestly.
Yeah, but what does he know? He's dead.
Yeah. I would say he's the best human villain. Like,
No,
the
he
ego
might
terrorist
be-
guy is like, whatever.
Yeah, don't worry about
God,
it.
don't get me started.
Yeah, anyone else?
Who's even the head of Apex Cybernetics? Is that even?
Oh, Walter
there's someone
Simmons.
who was the
Can't
head.
even remember.
Yeah.
He's kind of
Walter-
fun. He's like a little. He's
Was
a
that his
little
name?
fun.
Yeah, that's his name.
I cannot remember
death,
the dude.
His death is unironically like amazing.
That's right.
His death is so
That's the
funny.
best part.
Yeah.
And then Bernie just like I want to listen to a speech. That's just good. That's quality stuff right there.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Okay,
Yeah, sorry, Miles. I don't think you went.
My favorite human character is Samuel Jackson. Like,
Oh,
100%.
okay, nice.
It is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just love his performance in that movie. That scene with the napalm in particular, where he's just like watching Kong burn.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And
I'm surprised
Fuck.
we haven't had any Millie Bobby Brown representation.
if only
she's
Nathan were here.
She's all right in versus Kong. She's kind of fun, especially back and forth with like her buddy and Bernie.
Yeah.
King of the Monsters, like she's fine, but okay.
It low-key kind of felt like she was typecasted.
Yeah.
Like, her character
And
in King of the Monsters is almost the exact same as her character in Stranger Things, which was her breakout role.
Yeah.
So
Even down to
Yeah.
the look almost. The
Yeah.
slick back hair and like Godzilla
She's
versus
also, like,
Kong. It
yeah.
just looks straight out of Stranger Things.
yeah,
I also think like she's kind of tied to the hip to some pretty whack characters too. That doesn't help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whack
But
characters?
okay, so this is actually I'm gonna hijack this from you, Rahul, a bit, right?
No, take it. Give it back.
Never. I want to ask you guys, you guys over there in New Zealand, like I actually
Okay.
because I haven't seen. I think I've started your series, but I haven't gone that far, and I actually don't know. Like I'm kind of picking it up, but I don't know like in terms of the MonsterVerse movies, right? Do you guys like
Yeah.
all of them? Like all of them?
Oh,
That's a
Micah,
great
you want to take
question.
this on
That's
first?
a great question. I think our consensus is that they're okay. I don't think that we're super fanatic about them, but I don't think that we trash them as much as a lot of people seem to do. I think we're almost smack bang in the middle.
Yeah, there's some I think we like more than others. Like again, you probably can tell, but I like Gareth Edwards' original Godzilla. Love Kong Skull Island. Actually, really like the Monarch show.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm a bit more mid on King of the Monsters. I liked Godzilla vs Kong, and I thought the new movie was great. But those first two really hit the mark for me.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But
I
like
legitimately
we like
didn't
them.
know.
We definitely like them overall. Yeah, like we're stoked that this franchise is as big as it
Yeah.
is, and that we're continually having new movies and new shows and spin-off shows and stuff now. Like it's really exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any Godzilla content is good content.
Yeah.
We're not going to be mad about that regardless, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting that there are. I don't know. To me, it seems like there are. It's very divisive. With the MonsterVerse, there have seemed to be people who just absolutely hate its guts, and then people who can't stop raving about it and think it's peak cinema. Every movie is Oscar worthy. And
Yeah.
I think you don't actually see too many people who sit on the fence about it.
Yeah, we're real.
Right.
We're real
I-
special when it comes to the MonsterVerse. I'd like to think like we're real.
I actually think
trailblazers
more-
sitting on the fence.
Ahead of our time almost.
Yeah.
I think more people than not actually do find most of the movies to be just like all right or good. Like the extreme opinions.
Just not very
it's
vocal about it, right?
It's
Yeah.
very, it's very interpersonal. Like this is fandom stuff in comment sections, but it's not
Yeah.
really the majority because when I think of like you kind of get the general vibe of these movies. Most of the time, it's like they're foddered. Like people just find them foddered off. I think the most negative reception was King of the Monsters because people didn't like, even for like I guess you say like normies, quote unquote. I think the humor rubbed them the wrong way because it's kind of the
Yeah.
worst aspect of that movie.
Right.
But everyone like, most people think 2014's cool enough. Kong Skull Island's cool enough. They have fun with the Wingard stuff. So
Yeah.
and that's pretty.
I
That's
love
like,
the
it's-
Netflix
it's-
Skull Island TV show.
Yeah.
Animated show. People just love it. Yep.
Actually, wait, out of curiosity, how many people here like the Skull Island TV show? Because I think it's fine.
I really liked it.
David,
I'm
you're the
the,
odd one out. Get out.
Yeah, I'm the certified. I'm the certified hater.
What is
You're the
there to
MonsterVerse
hate?
hater here, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
David,
To tell you the
plant turtle isn't good enough for you?
truth, Aloe
No.
Turtle, Biachi,
The Aloe
Magma
Turtle. Oh.
To tell you-
Dog isn't your favorite MonsterVerse character?
Yeah, how dare you, David?
Well, like, I'd
Okay.
like to flip that back onto you guys. Like, do you three? I know you've talked about it a bit on your podcast before, but do you three overall? Would you call yourself like big MonsterVerse fans? Because did you get introduced to the franchise from sitting down in theaters for 2014, or did you?
We
No.
were
Yeah,
fans
little
when we were
before
like little children.
Yeah.
From
Love
like
it.
Godzilla
Yeah, we were the same,
2000 and
classic.
Blockbuster and like Bones of Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I'll go first. For MonsterVerse, I am a fan. Okay, so here's the thing. We rewatched all of them
Okay.
recently, so I have some fresh opinions. 2014, I think, is like solid, but has like the problems that you see people have with it. I also have with it, and I kind of realized them later on, and I'm like, all right, we're rewatching this. It's all right. Kong, I think, is a big step up. That one's really solid. King of the Monsters has cool moments, cool shots, and a kick-ass soundtrack. But I'm not the biggest fan. But I honestly think the Adam Wingard stuff, it fucks. Like versus Kong and X Kong, they fuck
I
so
love it.
hard. They're so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, what about you, Miles?
Yeah, so like, I was introduced to Godzilla not as early as like Rahul and David. Like I think literally my first Godzilla movie was like versus Biollante, who's my favorite monster, probably because of that.
Oh, what a fun to start with.
Yeah, and then from that it was like my dad was like, "Oh, you liked that one? This one just came out, and it was like Godzilla 2000, like
Nice.
Zilla." It wasn't nice.
Oh wait, wait a minute. No, you confused me. Wait.
98.
Not that 2000.
98?
Yeah, 98. It was 2000 when I watched it. It was in the 2000s.
Millennium's 99.
You said like Godzilla 2000 is like nice, my favorite.
I was about to fight you, Miles. Like 2000 Fox.
Yeah.
No, that one was. I watched
we
it
get
in
it.
the
We get it.
2000s. Okay, I was
Okay,
like,
yeah, we get it. Sorry. Go on, please.
Lost my train of thought. But yeah, I think I've gone into the whole like 2014 Godzilla thing. Like I've liked every movie enough. Like probably I think more than most movies I watched. Like I can't remember any other movie I watched in 2014. Like I couldn't tell you what other movie came out.
Right.
Like at all actually. So I would
Planet
really
of the
like-
Apes.
Oh shit.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
came out.
Guardians
was
came
John
out
Wick
that year.
20. Was
Yeah.
Guardians
I think it might-
2014?
yeah.
Sorry, not Guardians. Was John Wick 2014, 2015?
I think that was.
See John Wick in theaters, so wouldn't matter.
That
to me.
might have been 24. Wait, no.
I think it was, to be honest. Let
This
me
is a
quickly.
quick Google search away.
It's funny you said that because 2014 was
Yeah, you're
kind
right.
of a banger. Was actually a banger year for
It was
movies.
banging, man.
Underrated.
Yeah. Godzilla tops them all, is what Miles is saying. Oscars
Yeah,
get
well-
out of here.
I was also like in boarding school when that came out, right? Like
we were like in high school.
I only got the chance to like see 3 movies that year. In theater.
Name the other two, Miles. Come on.
It was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Nice.
And
And
John,
I-
right?
And John Wick. Yeah.
No, the school wouldn't let us see that one.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm not sure that was actually released in 2014. I'm looking at a list of movies that came out in 2014.
It was the summer. I remember it was the summer. I remember because I saw the trail. We were seeing trailers.
Yeah, right.
Earlier in the year,
Yeah.
and I remember so many people like, "Oh, this looks dumb," and I'm like, "This looks amazing. What are you people talking about?" And then it wasn't.
Well,
amazing.
that's
I'm like,
because at the
"Uh-uh."
time the Guardians were not like
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
silly.
a
Oh.
popular
names.
group. Yeah.
Godzilla. We're talking about Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
We'll have the
yeah.
James
So
Gunn
it would have
podcast
been.
later.
It would have literally just been Godzilla, Planet of the Apes, and Guardians.
Right.
Because I wasn't
Planet
allowed
of
to
the
see.
Apes.
Yes.
How good is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, guys?
They're great.
They're pretty good.
They're so good, but
I
they're
think I like
bleak as shit.
Godzilla more.
they're all right. I think they're a bit overrated.
Yeah.
I unironically think I liked 2014 more. Despite it
No, that's
not
cool.
being
Honestly,
as
yeah,
good of a
I-
movie, technically, if you know what I mean.
Right.
It's just
No,
a
I-
lot of fun, like the energy of 2014.
Oh
is just
yeah. Let me tell you about it. Like for me, I was
think I'm on the same page there.
yeah.
Like one of the things that 2014 had was that it was the first movie that kicked off the franchise. Every movie since has had a real huge focus on the interconnectivity between the movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Monarch appears front and center in every single film, and I think that's. I think we bring it up every time we talk about the MonsterVerse, but Marvel has kind of gone down the same track where it's impossible for them to have a standalone movie without referencing the other ones,
Right.
and kind of to its detriment. And although it has been super fun being able to have, so many appearances of these other monsters like Tiamat and Skilla that have showed up in the other movies, I think there was just something real special about being introduced, first movie into this new franchise and having the appearance of even just Godzilla himself be a huge spectacle.
Yeah.
Did
100%.
I ever mention what how like people talk about the ultimate like Godzilla rival to end off this series, right?
Oh well.
And all these mans are like Space Godzilla.
Okay. We'll
Destroyer.
save that for later for the other half.
No. No, I have to say this, Raul.
No,
'cause
we
they're
have to.
totally-
We have to.
Let him speak, Repod. Let him speak.
Let me cook. I'm saying
That is something to say.
the finale of the series. Godzilla enters a room. It's his final opponent, and it's
He's in a
just
room. Is this like a
50
human-sized
mutos.
room?
It's just
Oh.
50 mutos. They're regular ass mutos.
We are right here.
They're just 50 of them, and that's his final challenge.
Right, the species that can
They-
Full circle.
that evolved to,
Unironically.
to attack him.
Unironically, I would
it's
love
not even,
a
like,
Godzilla
built up
movie
heat.
that's like
He walks
like,
in,
here's an
and they're all
opponent he's
like,
already
"What?"
Yeah.
Wait, what?
but
Jumps.
just a horde of them.
Yeah.
I kind of thought you were going to go like Shack Attack. Like, it's
Yeah.
just Shack.
That's a movie I want to
He's
see.
riding. He's riding. You know.
It's just on, you know.
Right.
Zuko's there as well.
Zuko's just there to watch.
Yeah. On the subject. Oh no, sorry. You go.
I don't think anyone was talking.
No, sorry. I saw the green ray go. Anyways,
That may have been my chair.
yeah.
It's the chair.
Let
Yeah.
the chair speak.
Chair, please speak. Chair of wisdom. What? No, sorry. Chair of the lake. What is your wisdom? No, I don't think you can pick that up.
I don't know if it did or not. I was trying to do it.
So we were talking a bit about the monsters of the MonsterVerse. Tiamat, David brought up, what was that? 4 dozen Mutos.
50.
Out of curiosity, out of all the monsters that you've seen, which one is your favorite? We'll start with Micah and Jasher.
Ooh, funnily enough, I would say that Muto is my favorite so far.
That's
I feel if we
fair.
say Aloe Turtle or something.
Aloe Turtle is a
Aloe
close
Turtle.
second. No, I think the first appearance of Muto, especially with that, I don't know, I still love the idea of having a male and a female variant of the monster.
Yeah.
I think it was just really unique for the time, and I don't know, even though a lot of people say that Muto is like the culmination of modern kaiju, especially after watching movies like Cloverfield or what was it, War of the Worlds, and just those more
Right.
alien-looking monsters. I think there's still something just real cool about it.
Yeah.
Down to like its sound design, its appearance, every aspect of it is just fantastic to me.
Yeah. To add to that, I do want to point out how there's never been a Godzilla monster like the Mutos before. A species that
very
evolved
different, eh?
specifically to hunt his species. Usually with like Godzilla monsters in the past, it's just kind of the surprise alien or mech or mutant or underground subterranean creature that never really interacted with him. But this is a species that was built to fight him, and they have this, ancient rivalry, which we'll talk about more later.
You would think they would have atomic breath shielding. Of some sort.
Which, I mean, the female Muto tanked that first hit pretty well. It's just the insides that aren't plated. But anyways, having that kind of relationship, we've never really seen that before, and that's what made the Muto so unique at the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
That still
Well,
makes them
I'll-
unique.
yeah.
Yeah, I think for my favorite, the Mutos are probably up there too now that we've read about them more in like the graphic novels and things. I think that relationship is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But to be honest, hot take.
Shinamura.
Hot take. I really like Scar King. I think he's my favorite right now.
Hot
I
take.
love-
The pose
Persist.
game is real though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. What more do you need?
So good.
Scar King is a really fun villain, honestly.
It's great to
Me
have
too.
a more human-esque monster. Like
Yeah.
Scar King is just like a guy, really.
He
Yeah.
can mow
He's just a dude. He's
JoJo.
balding, has his slaves, just a normal guy.
Have you seen have you guys seen the list of like it's like on like villainswiki.com or something, just the crime Scar King's committed?
Oh god.
And it's like all of them.
I don't know if I want to look at that list.
I will
Amazing
say, I
visuals.
do think he holds a place as like in more, some of the Showa era movies. You had some of those more humanoid monsters, the gargantuans.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
King Caesar would fit up. there
Oh
as
my
well.
boy!
And I was like, you You haven't had anyone like that fit that role in the MonsterVerse yet. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of
speed.
yeah.
All
You know, I'll say for myself in terms of monsters, I was funny because I was like, can I say Godzilla himself? But I don't think that's true because I think it's King Ghidorah.
Oh yeah.
Easy, because he's
Which
it's
one?
not
Head
just like
specifically.
Monster
Which
versus.
head
Yeah.
specifically, please? Which one of the heads?
Oh.
oh
Say it now.
You know the
double.
answer.
Yeah.
Go
Well, that
Kevin.
actually. No, you know what? No. I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna pick the middle one because he has to deal with Kevin's bullshit. He has to
Good
deal with
choice.
like idiot on one side and rage monster on the other. He has to like put them together.
It's a tough job.
Yeah.
Try to balance that whole situation.
Some
But
heads
being-
gotta do it.
Yeah.
Real shit though, real shit. I think it's not just like it's a great monster and idea for him and lore and like everything. It's like the perfect King Ghidorah, but it's also the best King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Because like Godzilla, it's amazing, but I think there's other Godzillas that I could like argue are better or worse. Like like -1 or several. Like there's a few Godzillas that could be up there for like this is the best version of Godzilla.
Godzilla 2000. Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
I'll put a battle for GMK.
Ooh.
But like King Ghidorah, it's like there's no contest. Even in
What
his
about
like
the
better
Dorats?
films in the past, no contest. Like
He
MonsterVerse
doesn't
King
really have a
Ghidorah
personality.
is
in any
the
other
King
one.
Ghidorah.
Yeah. Yeah, Monster vs. King Ghidorah really did. Oh crap. Sorry, my screen just went to sleep. Monster vs. King Ghidorah is definitely yeah, I definitely say it's probably one of the best versions of the characters, and I'm kind of surprised how many people don't like this version of the character, especially given how much personality that King of the Monsters managed to give him.
I think they do.
yeah.
I just think but I think he's like it's a case of like lost in the sauce of that movie as a whole, and like a lot of people
So
like
much
see.
going on,
I
right?
don't like King of the Monsters, but like I like King Ghidorah. I like aspects of it. But there's some people where it's like if they don't like a movie, they're never gonna really engage with it on any level at all. So they just kind of like overlook like
Also,
that.
everything in it.
A lot of
Yeah, gloss over
positives.
just like whatever positives they might find.
Yeah.
It's
Which is
such a clever redesign. I love what they did with his like walking on the wings.
Yeah, the wing
horns.
walk.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
just looks so clean. It looks like a real nice place to take the character after just having him be a guy in a suit with an arm in each neck.
Yeah.
For the past, like,
Controlled
40,
by
50
piano
years, right?
wires. Yeah.
Yeah, real clever.
What about you, Miles? Who's your favorite? It
Gotta be
any
the
monster.
pettiest monster I've seen,
Oh.
and that's the Kraken. This thing goes out of its way to throw whales, man.
Which
Like
Skull Island.
Yes.
Like,
We're back
yeah.
to the animated
Come on.
show. Yes.
Let's go.
Unironically, that thing is so petty. I love it.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
like I'm just going to kill his humans because let's throw a whale at his temple just to do it to him.
yeah.
That is the best part of the show, like by far,
Like-
like, easily.
The Kraken
When
had
you
no
threw that
clue
whale,
Khan
it
was going to fight him over that. He was just doing it.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I actually died of laughter. That was too good. Unironically, so good.
Yeah. I definitely want to challenge myself with the Kraken, but I'll reveal more about that later. But
Plus, it looks like Biollante,
Ooh.
and Biollante is the best.
yeah.
So,
Also,
That's
like when you said the Kraken, I kind of panicked for a minute. It's like, okay, which Kraken are we talking about? Are we talking about Nakika from Godzilla Dominion? Are we talking about the novelization Kraken? Or are we talking about Skull Island Kraken?
the only one we've seen in motion.
Well, I read the Kraken in motion. Take that!
I don't
The
think Miles
mind's
did.
eye. I did
I
not.
think Miles-
Imagination is off
You're
the
saying
charts.
Miles has never mentioned reading those books. I don't think it's bad.
The dyslexic guy's going to go out of his way to learn about your Kraken. Get that shit on audio, man.
Basic bitch novel cracking. The virgin novel cracking.
I mean,
Yeah.
it might be the
Oh,
same Kraken. I don't know
animated
yet.
series.
If he's not the whale, I don't think it can be.
He's talking
No,
about
like the
Kraken
same
from Clash of the
species.
Titans.
No, the same species of
Wait, are we
Kraken.
talking about Pirates of the Caribbean right now? Is that what we're talking about?
We're talking about all of it, man.
There's
This
no
got
this
8
is
legs.
Kraken.
It's in this conversation.
This is the Kraken cinematic universe. You've all been
Yes.
there's no evidence to prove or deny that all these Krakens are part of the same cinematic universe.
No, it's not all these Krakens. It's one Kraken.
It's just the one dude.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That's such a life.
Man, for me, this is a tough one, honestly. A lot of the new monsters I really like. I think Behemoth is really cool. Scylla is also up there. King Ghidorah is also really great. Like, I think everyone here had really good answers. The problem is I can't narrow it down just one. Like,
There's a lot of them.
like, you know, for one, there's like personalities and characters, but then the other side, there's like design or the impressions that they left. So it's really hard for me to narrow it down. Like, Frostvark is one of my favorite monsters from
Frostvark?
yeah, from Monarch.
Yeah, good call out.
But yeah, it's like it's hard to choose. I honestly don't know.
I think you kind of have to put a line in the sand over, like, whether or not you just like the design or you like the monster.
No, yeah, that's
as a
exactly what I'm
character, right?
saying. Is like, I would like the design of one, but I like the character of the other. And it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to, like, measure which one overtakes the other.
Because,
Yeah,
like,
what's your
design
favorite
alone, I would
design
say
then?
Behemoth.
Just focusing on that.
Oh, yeah.
For design, that's also complicated. But okay, if I had to choose, like, coin flip between the Frostvark or Behemoth, I think we need more.
I love those choices.
Yeah, like, I think we need more mammalian kaijus, and those two kind of scratch that itch a bit. And also, I think the chimeric nature of them, at the end of the day, ends up making something really unique that we haven't really seen before. It's also like an added bonus. Like,
To be fair, we do now have a lot of mammal kaiju. There's like 30 million Kongs.
but like
know
wild
what you
card selection here, Amaluk from the comics.
Oh, I was gonna bring him up, the veiny guy.
Yeah, I love how out of place he
I don't
looks.
want that to be how he's referred to. The guy with the big veins.
Ah, you said it. That's
yeah.
out of the bag.
But yeah, I think like one of the things I really like about Amaluk is he looks so out of this world. Like, you look at him and you think this is the Pacific Rim kaiju, not something from the MonsterVerse.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, in terms of monsters I would love to see in the future, that's one of them. But
I wonder how they'll do it, eh? It'll be interesting to see on screen.
I mean, they managed to get Tiamat in there. I don't see any reason
right.
why not.
Yeah.
So-
Giant lemurs?
Oh,
the
right!
giant
The
lemurs?
giant lemurs!
Actually, I'm changing my answer. That's my favorite MonsterVerse monster. Giant lemur.
Shinomura, just nothing but a mess. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my answer to. Can I change mine to the shadow of Makila Mabombe and fucking
Oh!
the monsters?
Yeah, I think...
I want the Skeleturtle graffiti.
Yeah!
Yes. The graffiti, yeah, good choice.
Anguirus' skeleton.
Yeah, that's a great
That's
choice.
best
Yeah,
monster.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite MonsterVerse monster is all the
There you go.
Pacific Rim
What's-
references. We'll
favorite
talk about that
monster is-
later. Ooh.
Geigen in the concept art of King of the Woods.
Oh, yeah! Oh, guys, my favorite monster, because it gave me the fight I always wanted. My favorite MonsterVerse monster, Gamera, from the Art of Destruction book.
But maybe we
Yes.
should say Samuel L. Jackson because man is the real monster.
Oh, you're right.
It's good, it's good.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and he dies. So what does he know?
So, keeping on the topic of the monsters, one of the title characters that we've seen almost throughout the entire MonsterVerse for the past 10 years has been going through quite the drastic changes as he's been going around. Of course, I'm talking about Doug. No,
Yes. It's about time.
So actually, I wanted to talk to you guys about out of the 3 Godzilla designs that we got, which one is your favorite?
Whoa.
Real question time here.
This is a thinker.
I'm actually
To be honest,
gonna.
I really
Oh, you go.
I like his evolved design. I'll probably just say Godzilla evolved. I found all the other ones. To be honest, I found all the other like Godzilla MonsterVerse designs not that great. Either his head's too small, his legs look too much elephant-like. Like
Right.
he's just looked big and chunky for me, and I haven't been completely sold on it. But I love the new Dragon Ball-esque look we get to him in Godzilla X Kong. The
Yeah.
pink just goes so hard.
Right.
Pink
Yeah.
goes real hard.
I'm also gonna say evolved because
Oh.
the funny thing is
Yes.
I do love the other ones, and I love the chonk too and stuff, right? But I think first of all, evolved, his body more matches his personality as like a monster fighter, right? Like he's built like he looks like he's ready to tango. Where the other design was more, it was better for when he was like slower, not really when he was faster. The pink spines, such a great color scheme, looks amazing. I love and I love the callbacks to 2000. It's a Dragon Ball reference, and I just fell in love with Dragon Ball like, over the last like year. So like, hits a lot of good shit. It's so I think I'm interested to see if they'll change it in the next one. I hope they don't change it. I hope they change it, but not too much.
Right.
I think
Like I'll say
am I right in
this:
saying
I
that
don't
Gareth
think he can go
Edwards
back to
has-
being fat again.
Yeah. Am I right in saying that Gareth Edwards has full-on tease, like he had plans for a fully evolved Godzilla?
Wait, Gareth
Did he?
Edwards?
I want
Or
no.
Gareth Edwards. Or
Oh,
mean
you
Michael
mean
Dougherty?
Jared?
Sorry, I don't even know who I'm talking
Jared,
about. here.
you're right. The concept artist.
Yeah, Jared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, I have his name here. It is Jared. Jared
coming.
Krzyzewski. I can't pronounce.
Yeah, he's got ideas of where the Godzilla evolution can go, what these monsters can look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was something about him taking over Tiamat's lair.
Yeah, and absorbing her
Like
DNA.
he was building. Yeah, he's building up to some full-on future evolution.
And we haven't seen it yet.
We haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Ah.
I love how Godzilla.
I don't.
So their explanation was his explanation. I remember this. It was Godzilla's body is getting used to this new power. Like the reason he's thinner,
Yeah, that's
it's
the one.
supposed to be because the energy is burned off all his fat.
Yeah.
And that as his body gets acclimatized to the power, it's gonna evolve into something else.
Oh
My
Jesus,
guess
he's
is
gonna
maybe-
get stronger.
Yeah, but my
Mhm.
guess is he's gonna be he's going to.
What's the next Dragon
probably
Ball
get a
Z
bit of
evolution? Is it
Super Saiyan God, Super
color is
Saiyan.
it?
no Ultra Instinct Godzilla.
Ultra Instinct
I mean-
Godzilla.
We haven't.
Silver spines, though, right?
Yo.
I think we need some sort of metallic
Yes.
color in there now.
Yeah. Yeah. Who hasn't gone yet on favorite Godzilla design? Myles and sorry, I can't tell who's speaking because you're both
Yeah,
using the same.
No one can.
No
It's
one
okay.
I'm
Sorry.
Jasha.
I am Micah. I'll go there. I don't know. I've liked most of the designs. I think the blue electric looking one from the recent movie is a little bit underwhelming.
Right.
And I think I'd say the King of the Monsters Burning Godzilla was a little bit as
Whoa.
well.
Nice.
But I'm a sucker for his just OG design, especially
Oh, 2014.
in both 2014 and in the Monarch show.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a great take on a new classic Godzilla.
Yeah. And
I would have to agree. Like that's my favorite Godzilla as well.
Oh,
It's just a really good way to rebrand him because he's looked kind of samey for so long. Well, not like samey, but like always the same head structure,
right.
little tweaks, stuff like that. And like 2014 was just like like it took what was there, but like completely new. Like if you took it to a silhouette, like it definitely stands out.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a very big overhaul. Yeah.
It successfully makes it more dinosaur-esque without doing like 98.
Yeah.
He's still very much Godzilla, but he does look like like a more natural animal. Specifically 2014.
Right. Yeah.
And they're really starting to hammer in the nature point before that kind of jumps the shark.
Yeah.
Did you say yours, Repot? What was your favorite?
It's a tough choice. Like 2014 is the one that started it all, and I really like the principles that they brought with the design. But at the same time, I really like 2019's design, mainly because it's a nice balance between the traditional and the new, and it kind of shows that it works. But yeah, and also Evolved, while I don't like how skinny it is, I think the idea of Godzilla continuously evolving in order to survive and also to more or less adapt to situations is pretty cool. I'd probably go with 2019 since it's a good balance of the two. And yeah, it just kind of it's a nice balance, a better balance between the traditional Godzilla with his dorsal plates and the original 2014 design. Even though I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the sequel film, but yeah, I think it's safe to say that 2019 is like the de facto MonsterVerse Godzilla since it's the one that appeared the most. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
fair.
easy for
Yeah, I
me to
think-
gravitate towards it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Nice, varied answers there. So, out of curiosity, I think we talked about a lot of the stuff that we liked, but actually, wait, hold up. Let me look at my notes real quick. Yeah, so we mainly talked about elements that we enjoyed, but have there been any elements in the MonsterVerse that you guys haven't enjoyed and would like to see not continue in future installments?
Ooh.
As much as so I'll go, like I've said, a lot of the human characters are fine. A lot of them are hit or miss, and even then, like, okay, even in the Adam Wingard ones, which I think are like those two are like awesome. The human characters aren't bad by any means, and some of them are good. But like whenever they're on screen, I'm like, can we go back to like we'll get back to the monsters, right?
Right.
And I felt that a lot in X-Kong specifically, especially because when the humans are on screen, it's a lot of exposition.
Right.
Like mostly exposition dumps. Where in a funny way, it's also because the monsters are at a point now where they are as human as any human in those movies. They could carry a movie on their own. They're complex enough characters, really, to do that now. So like, it's a crack type dream. I'm almost hoping for like maybe they will do that super experimental. Here's 2 hours of monsters doing monster stuff with no dialogue. They never will. That's
The
way too
budget?
risky. I mean, we have animated films, right? Like, you could do there's a fully CGI film. It might have to be a bit shorter than they'd like. That's the other thing too, right? It might have to be shorter than they'd want it to be. Like, it will never happen. But we kind of got
It'll be
like
so
we got
cool,
a little we got a taste of that in X-Kong, where there's like 15-minute like sections of just no people, just monsters and visual acting, right? Like we were
And
close.
they've
So
done a
maybe
comic
one
which
day.
is pretty much all that, right? Was that Godzilla Dominion when it's just completely
no
humans in sight? So it'd be cool for them to experiment a bit more on that in live
Yeah.
action. You're right.
Yeah.
If we're that's like, in terms of future movies. I will say in terms of critiques, I mean, there's a lot. Like, I would say it's one of the reasons I don't like King of the Monsters. The humans in that are like, the writing's very awkward. The motivations don't make a lot of sense. This is I'm about to shit on a Wolf Boy, so trigger warning, I guess.
Run, Micah, run, Jason.
Right now.
I really hate how I find it so bizarre that his whole deal is that like he seems to know everything just because he studied wolves, and half the shit he's saying is actually just I said this earlier, is just wrong. Here's a fun fact: you know the whole thing with like alpha, like the alpha titans, right?
Go on.
He's the one who brought that concept. First of all, it's weird because these monsters are different species. So why are they following like one? It's like, you know, a wolf doesn't worship a lion, right?
Mainly because they don't live in the same place.
But here's the other thing: that whole thing of wolves being led by an alpha, so that's wrong. That's actually like,
yeah,
that's actually been disproven.
Yeah, no, I'll give it to you. I think, like, because, I mean, I didn't say that Mark Russell's my favorite MonsterVerse character, because I think he's very flawed. I think I love Kyle Chandler, the actor. The
act-
a bit more than
the
I
actor's
like the
amazing.
character.
yeah.
Actor's
Yeah,
amazing.
but you're right. Like, I specifically like with Mark Russell what they tried to do in King of the Monsters to make him that, like, Serizawa replacement character, or to change him from his perspective of hating the Titans into actually seeing that we should be living side by side with them. But then they just threw that all out the window for Godzilla versus Kong. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of just like,
I
give or take.
I respect. I like that aspect of his character. But I just don't like how, for whatever reason, he's there to also be like the problem solver. Like, he's saying things that other characters really shouldn't know.
Yeah, you're right.
And then like Serizawa, I love like it's like Serizawa. He's great because he loves Godzilla and we love Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about what he's saying,
Exactly.
it's like some real crackpot shit. Like, it's actually in some insane shit he's saying. Like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, if you like, we know he's right because like we get to see the monsters like look us in the eye and shit, right? Like, we see them do their thing. But if you think about like in-universe logic, no one should ever believe a thing he's saying, like, at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
no, you're completely right. I feel like they get him doing way too much in that movie, and they get every character doing way too much. And that movie just feels so messy to me. And I guess he doesn't really help it.
I think like an emblematic scene of that movie is like one of the first scenes. It's when they're in that courtroom and he's trying to convince this court like, oh, we shouldn't kill Godzilla because we think some of them are good, right? And I'm like, no, that's not the argument you come in with. The argument you come in with is if we were to kill all these monsters, we drop so many nuclear bombs, we'd basically destroy the earth. That's why you don't want to kill them, because we'd fuck ourselves easy.
yeah.
What are we gonna do? Drop 20 oxygen destroyers and see what happens?
I think your point in our initial podcast for King of the Monsters was better, where some titans will prevent others from proliferating out of control that could pose a threat to humanity. But yeah.
It's a whole
even then,
right?
even that, like, with that one too, that was the original one. That still works too in a way. It's still like, you know, it's hard sell. Like, there's a way to make that scene make sense where it's not just here's Serizawa preaching, right? Which he does a lot in King of the Monsters. And then, holy hell, the villains. Like, Jesus Christ.
You're not an Emma Russell fan?
She should just be insane. But the movie's like, no, she redeemed herself. No.
I think there's no real reason for her to be insane or any real character to her.
It's like, no, there's too many people dying. This was the plan. You unleash the mega pterodactyl in Mexico.
What else was gonna happen?
Yeah, it's like everything that the guy was saying was happening is happening, and then suddenly it's not okay now.
Yeah.
Like,
I love how she's like, we need to prevent another Andrew from happening, so we'll release all these monsters to cause more Andrews from happening.
Totally justified.
Good lord. Some people process
get a
trauma
bunch of my
differently.
friends killed
Yeah.
for no reason.
My friends, my family. Good
I love how
god.
it's like, we need to stop war and environmental destruction. It's like, I guess there can't be any more wars if everyone's dead.
God.
I will say, that's another reason why King Ghidorah is goated, because in the middle of the movie, he goes, this is my movie now. He just takes over the plot line.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Micah and Jasher? Are there any elements that you'd want to get rid of in future installments, or even keep?
Yeah, I'm along the same lines. I think the human stuff, it's been real rocky, just like what everyone says. And I think they're finally finding that groove, the amount that they use human characters in Godzilla X Kong.
Right?
But I don't think they've quite got there yet. Like, even though they
Yeah.
had those human characters in the most recent movie, we didn't really feel a connection to them. They didn't really have emotional arcs. And that's something they do a lot better in the graphic novels, and have done a lot better with some of the Skull Island characters, even the Monarch TV show.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for that. I'm just waiting for those kind of character-driven elements to cross across to the movies, because I don't think they've quite got there yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
What about you, Micah?
No, I think we're all in the same boat with the characters.
Yeah.
I want to say, I mean, like I said before, I've really disliked the inclusion of having Monarch be the sole force and the company behind every
Super
single one of
powerful.
these movies.
Yeah.
Right.
I-
Except for Skull Island, the animated series.
Except for Skull Island.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I would love to see, because I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like we haven't actually had too many scenes with like the full-on military coming back and trying to fight a lot of these kaiju. Give me,
Really?
give me some tanks.
Right, yeah.
You want to
Give
go
me-
back to classic Godzilla. You want to go back to some Mesa cannons.
Well, it's almost like the humans don't see kaiju as a threat as much as they did in the older movies.
Yeah, that might be because of the world building, where they view them as an
Yeah.
essential part of their planet's ecosystem. So instead of fighting them, it's just kind of like a tornado or a earthquake. There's no stopping it.
Yeah, people still try to
give
stop
me-
those.
Yeah.
People, I've
Give
also
me a
heard
monster
people
that
talk.
just has no connection to the ecosystem.
Right,
people-
yeah.
I think having,
People
having
have
the inclusion
also-
of like a space Godzilla or a Biolante or Destroyer in one of the next movies, it'd be a great chance for them to be like, hey, this is something that hasn't come from Earth. Let's just
Yeah.
full on
Yeah.
attack it. No holds
Monarch's not
barred.
really working here. We need to like go back to basics almost. That'll be fun.
Right, yeah. And now that I think about it, there were a few military scenes, but they weren't exactly the forefront. We were kind of distracted with something else. Where in traditional
Was it-
Godzilla films, they usually take center stage when they do happen.
People have also talked a lot about how when you do scenes with the military in movies in general, there's a process to it. Like, you need to get
Yeah.
permission from the U.S. military, and that's a whole thing. Like, if they're not
Yeah, very
portrayed
true.
like they want you to, then they won't allow it. Stuff, or like they
True,
won't fund
true.
you, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, and that's not
New Zealand
unique.
was-
That's actually that's actually not unique to the States. It's actually a similar situation in other countries with their military.
The New Zealand military. That's who we need in these
Yes.
movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you, you could portray us any way you want. Yeah. I mean, I
But
wasn't
so that's part of
that.
yeah. So that's part of it too.
Right.
Or at least that's why the moments are so brief.
Yeah, it makes
Because
sense.
for military fight scenes would have made the most sense in 2014, and if you think about it,
Yeah, they cut
Um,
all of them though.
Mm.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Hawaii would have been a really good, like a really cool way of
Yeah.
having like fighter jets versus Godzilla.
Or even Los Angeles, with the military trying to stop the Fimamuto. And, you know, even have moments where the military is like, wait, why is our electronics not working? Oh, God.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah, some of that would have been cool.
in that movie they allude to that. Like in the bridge, correct me if I'm not wrong. There's a bunch of like the train bridge. There's a bunch of like blown up tanks and stuff in the background.
Oh, yeah,
piece for that,
true.
right? I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I'm just remembering that incorrectly.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
um,
like,
I mean,
they
even
show
the
a lot of
2014
it, but they don't show it. Like they show the aftermath of it.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that like 2014 did kind of overextend with how much they held back for the end. I think in retrospect they did go a bit too far with it. Like after like Godzilla when he shows him in Hawaii, it's like an hour in. It's
Yeah.
perfectly fine to kind of deliver the goods after like an hour, a full hour of build up.
Yeah.
You didn't need more.
Right.
Yeah.
But that might have just been because Gareth Edwards, he was fresh off of Monsters.
Yeah, I think that was his first, I think that was his first
Yeah.
Hollywood film.
I think it was Monsters. Then
I think he
Godzilla 2014,
I think he
and
was
then Rogue
like
One, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he was experimenting, and it was like it's a fair thing to like, you know, it's almost commendable, but like I think it just didn't really pay off in the final product.
Right.
And the discourse around that's what the discourse around that movie has become. It's like people do admit it's incredibly well made, but everyone's like they held off too much. That's why it's like there's not enough Godzilla. It's not that there's not enough. It's that he's not placed.
He's not paced out
Well,
properly.
Yeah. Like I hate these people, but I'm gonna be that guy. Like -1, right? Has very little Godzilla in it, but
Around
it's
the
like
same amount.
3. Yeah, but like he gets 3 full, like 3-minute sequences, like early in the film, middle of the film, and end of the film, and it's
Yeah,
like
he's used
perfectly
way
paced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of like kind of splotched throughout. But I mean, like, it's a mute point now because that's after these last two, like the last couple of movies, we're not gonna have that problem again.
Yeah, it's not so
No.
much.
Yeah.
No.
What about you, Miles?
What about you, Miles? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for me, like there's no issue overarching. I have little nitpick or issues with each individual movie.
Right.
Like 14, it is obviously Godzilla's pacing. Like that's the biggest thing in that movie. I don't mind the military guy we follow around all that much, actually.
Right.
Even though I can't remember his name because
Ford
That's about
Pro.
right.
Something
Come
dirty,
on,
right?
Miles.
something American. That's fine. Like, I guess a lot of like the science mumbo jumbo that they just randomly spew out.
Really?
It kind of bugs me. Like, I don't think if you can't explain it in a way that makes sense, it's magic.
Okay.
Right? Like in Godzilla X Kong, that liquid metal magnet stuff that's moving pyramids,
my
that's
God.
fucking magic. Don't even bother trying to give me a Star
Somebody-
Trek reason
I
for
mean,
why
yeah,
that's not
saw-
magic.
When I saw that with another friend of ours, he broke at that scene. He was like, "Yeah, of course that's how that works." He fucking just like I saw his mind melt in real time.
Like,
That movie is gloriously stupid.
Miles, thoughts on Singular Point?
okay.
No, we don't need to get into it. We don't need to get into it.
I just turned my brain off Singularity Point and be like, this is very pretty.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the best way
Yeah.
to watch Singular Point.
Jaguar
You know what's
is
funny?
too.
I've seen
Or 2D
I've seen-
animated sequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people. I've actually seen people go back and forth on how like accurate the science is of the show. Because some people are like, no, it's super accurate, and then some people, even like fucking like physicists and stuff, would be like, no, it's actually wrong. Da, da, da. And I'm like, I could just assume you're all lying, and like I would never know. Like I legit, like you're fighting Sanskrit with Sanskrit here. Like I don't know what anyone's saying.
Yeah,
I am not that
feel
smart.
like, at least in Singularity's defense, that's the whole point of the show,
Right.
is the mumbo jumbo. But like in the other movies, like they just have it there to explain a single scene, and it's just like, why though?
They didn't need it.
Right.
Like you could have just literally said that's Ewa magic. Like they have a telepath that can talk to a moth. Like I
It's not
don't
that
think you.
far-fetched.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Like, it's
maybe it would have been
magic
better
metal.
if they didn't mention that, and they go like, "Wait, what's gonna happen when they touch?" And then when they start floating, it would have been like, "Yo, that's sick," instead of explaining it.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
that would have been probably better. I just find it distracting. I guess that is my overall arcing thing because that stuff's in every movie.
Right.
A lot of
A lot of exposition.
oh my,
Yeah.
I'm even in that
Explain.
same boat with. This is funny. I have that issue with Shin Godzilla. I think the political stuff in that movie is kind of interesting, but when they start breaking down how they're gonna stop Godzilla, I'm like, it's just science bullshit. It's like we're just building up to we're gonna freeze him. You can fucking say you can say anything you want in those scenes, and like
Yeah.
nothing changes.
Yeah.
It's just talking for talking's
Yeah.
sake. Like I think human characters are important in these stories.
But you need to make them interesting.
They need to be interesting, and they can't just be there. Like, you can't just have a whole scene that's just them talking when you literally just showed me Kong using a baby Kong as a club, and then we cut to a guy just talking about magnets.
Yeah.
Can I misbehave again and bring up -1?
No.
No.
Honestly, we
okay.
need to like get a move on. Like this was kind of distracting, honestly.
I mean, that's
sorry
nothing
for
for a
bringing up
podcast,
Singular
That's
I'll say
Of course.
Jet Jaguar Singularity Point is
Oh,
the GOAT. He's
yeah.
the best robot, and that's the less we'll
he
say.
is. That is true.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I think we should just round out this first half and just move on to the future of the MonsterVerse. Thanks, David. We'll just like shotgun these. Favorite moment, favorite title, and an interesting question for all of you. But yeah, so favorite moment.
Now we're talking about the future.
No, we'll like cover these questions, shotgun them, and then we'll move on to the future of the MonsterVerse.
I'll go first then. I think my favorite moment for the live action ones is 100% just Kong using a baby Kong as a club.
Yeah.
That was just so out of nowhere, and I never really knew I wanted to see Curious George Nunchucks. Like,
Curious George
Nunchucks.
Love it.
give Kong a yellow coat, man. Like,
Yeah?
That's
Who's
the
that
name
guy?
of this. That's the title for this podcast episode.
No.
and if we're talking about overall, like that whale scene in Skull Island, like animated TV show, like legitimately, I go back just to watch that.
Right.
It's so stupid. I love it. Anyway, that's me.
Yeah. Mike or Jasher?
I mean, I'm going to be pretty boring, but my favorite moments are probably the like fatalities that the monsters do to one another at the end of every movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We get such a sick way that they take down the last monsters with the kiss of death, was it in the original, and then Skull Island, Kong like rips out the insides of a skull crawler, and they do those kind of things throughout all the movies. King of the Monsters, he's like chewing on one of Ghidorah's heads. Yeah, and I live for those moments. They're so cool.
Right.
I want to say, as much as I love 2014, I'd say that's probably my favorite of the MonsterVerse movies so far. GVK has majority of my favorite moments of the MonsterVerse. Both with the scene on the aircraft carrier in the ocean. That whole fight sequence is great. But specifically, I don't know. I'm always a sucker for the introduction of Mechagodzilla in that movie.
Right.
It's building up to it, and you know what's coming, and it's just so hype when it finally happens.
Yeah. Is it safe to say that that one shot of Godzilla and Kong on the aircraft carrier is now like one of the most famous shots of the past decade in cinema?
Yeah, the ready to land the punch, Kong with his...
Yeah.
you're right.
Everyone knows where it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just instantly recognizable.
A shot from the hit
Yeah.
film Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah, so, wait, was that Jasher or Micah? I'm so sorry.
That one was Jasha.
Yeah. Micah, what about you? What was your favorite moment?
Sorry. No, that one was Micah. That was.
They're mixing up themselves.
Oh
It's
no!
bad, yeah, it's bad when we're getting confused.
We said both of ours. Mine, I'm Jasha, hello. I said the fatalities.
Right?
And I said GVK.
Awesome.
All of it.
This is a real
All of
mistake doing it in one of our accounts.
Yeah.
Both of our mics.
A little bit.
Come through
Yeah.
the same audio input.
For me, it's a hard choice. It's either The Kiss of Death, because, again, every time I watch it, I'm back in the theater, opening day.
Yes.
Everyone just cheering and applauding and just losing their minds. But when Godzilla and Kong team up to double team Mechagodzilla, that was magic, because there was a point
good
where
one.
I just went, I'll never see this again. No other property is gonna pull something off like this. Can you name another title where two characters from two completely different properties team up to fight the big villain. If this were a superhero movie, it'd be like Superman and Iron Man fighting Thanos. That's the equivalent of it. It is just so crazy to think that we live in a time where we could see something like that. And yeah, it's like it's one of those two, honestly.
Yo, just wait for the Godzilla Gamera crossover.
Oh my god.
See, that feels like it's in the realm of possibility, though.
Oh, we'll talk about
That's
that.
the thing, eh?
If die, stop being little bitches. Yeah. My scene. Okay. This is recency bias here. My favorite scene. It's when Godzilla climbs up the cliff in X Kong, and then he swan dives. So here's the thing. It's just such a mind-blowing scene. Not only is it amazing, the dive itself, right?
Right.
But when you Google where Gibraltar is versus Egypt,
Yeah.
they are a continent apart,
Yep.
hating each other. That's
Yeah.
how much hatred Godzilla has. Being more serious though, that shot in general, it's like it sold me on the evolved design. It's so good. Like he looks so just like that shot is like, oh, that's Final Wars Godzilla. That's the Godzilla that will destroy everything and everyone in its path. And then he does. Also contender, probably the real number one, the suplex.
Right.
I never felt dumber. Like I was in sheer, it's like I saw God. I was in disbelief. And I was spoiled for it. I knew it was coming, and I still couldn't believe it. Like, I'm like, they had to have lied to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was so cool.
Like, so, that movie just, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Oh my god.
Alrighty, now, before we move on to talking about the future of the MonsterVerse, need to, like, get a solid answer from everyone here on this. There have been debates online. There have been conflicting reports. The directors have come out, stated their own claim. They should have the final word, but this discourse continues on. So, oh wait, crap, I forgot another question. We'll answer that later, I guess. So, with these last two films, who is the real winner? Godzilla or Kong?
Oh, here we go.
Who's the real winner?
I think it's pretty easily Godzilla, right? I feel like he's got atomic powers, radioactive breath, and Kong's just a dude with an axe. And I mean, he's pretty good with the axe. But I feel like Godzilla's just got him outpowered with his special abilities.
Right.
When Godzilla shows up to fight, Kong has to try to survive. There's no contest.
Right.
It's never like a fight, it's more like a how can he get out of this?
Right.
Yeah. How can he get the upper hand? Because he doesn't already, you know?
Yeah. I will say, when Godzilla vs. Kong was kind of in its early stages of promotion, like, we still didn't get a trailer. All we were getting were articles and word from the writers and the director. They kept hamming up how this is a David versus Goliath kind of situation. You could guess who's who. Kong's Goliath, Godzilla's David.
I am Godzilla. Nice to meet you.
There's, and usually with Western media, underdogs always win. So I was going into Godzilla vs. Kong expecting Kong to win, even though I am Team Godzilla all the way. Grew up with the character, loved the character, loved reptiles, therefore he's my favorite. So when Godzilla comes out on top at the end of that movie, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. My team actually won? It's generally this the shock of, believing in something that was definitely going to happen and then getting something completely different. So, but yeah, I'm still kind of in the air. Like, did Godzilla win? Is he the winner?
Yes.
He stepped
Yeah.
on him. Like,
Yep.
Twice.
Like, I think I prefer MonsterVerse Kong in general to MonsterVerse Godzilla, to be honest. But I can see Godzilla's still he's taking it.
Damn.
I think that's because we need a like in this. Adam Wingard said that for the next movie he wants to focus more on Godzilla. I think that will bring him up to Kong's level of characterization because right now it's like he is just kind of like
Pretty light.
Yeah.
the rage monster
Yeah.
that cameos more in some of these than not. So we need one that's like we need to see Godzilla just vibing around the Earth for a bit, and then we're good.
Yeah. Have him
Need
be
more
of
of him like sleeping in the Coliseum kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was really
Someone
good.
said it.
That was cute. Yeah.
It was just good characterization. Like he went back, man.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
Just make him look even more like a cat, and I'll be happy. Bring Godzilla's ears back.
I mean,
Cowards.
I agree.
some of his scoots kind of look like ears almost.
He does
We're
have that
almost
spike
there. We're
now.
You're not
almost
wrong.
there.
They should
so close.
merge into an ear.
Or maybe they're already ears. Who knows? Alrighty, so we talked a lot about MonsterVerse present, but I think one of the more interesting, some of the more exciting topics around the MonsterVerse right now is the potential future of this franchise, really. And seeing how well it's been doing, it's kind of hard to see it really stop anytime soon. Like Godzilla X Kong recently, did it recently end its theatrical run, or is it still going in some territories?
It's still
It's
going.
still showing here. Yeah.
Yeah, and
No, it's still going.
yeah, and it already beat out the box office. I think it's now the highest grossing Godzilla film of all time.
Oh
Yep.
wow, that's super cool.
Yeah, so without a doubt, we're definitely going to be seeing more of the MonsterVerse. So, kind of want to make another open floor discussion talking about the future of the MonsterVerse. But before we continue, I think it's best if I just highlight everything that has been greenlit and everything that
Yeah, that'd
hasn't.
be cool.
So that way we can, we can have a more clear discussion on everything, knowing what is coming and what isn't. So
Yeah, because I get like confused sometimes just because there's so much
Yeah.
that's already been announced recently. Like it's pretty cool.
yeah, there's
There is
also
a future.
there's also been a lot of conflicting information about some of these titles. So I kind of want to clear the air on that too. Like there's some
Nice.
projects that people claim have been greenlit even though they haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start off with the stuff that haven't been greenlit yet. Thus far, the Netflix Skull Island animated series has not been greenlit for season 2 yet. This has been confirmed
It's
via.
been written, right?
Yeah, season 2 has been written, but it hasn't been greenlit yet by Netflix. This is confirmed by Brian Duffield himself, one of the head creators of the show, on his Twitter, where he answered a question regarding season 2. And it seems like Skull Island is kind of in this awkward place when it comes to the MonsterVerse. So I think they're just kind of waiting to see how everything else plays out before they can get the green light, assuming they will get one. Again, this is Netflix, which are pretty infamous when it
knows?
comes to their series.
Yeah.
And another series that hasn't been picked up yet, but has been getting a lot of chatter, is Monarch G-Team, which is supposed to be another animated series that's been pitched by O'Shea Jackson Jr. since 2022. Thus far, it hasn't been picked up yet, despite what people say. However, he recently added
He's
Jared...
making moves.
Yeah, he made a really big move recently by adding Jared Krishkensky. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, the concept artist we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He added him to the team, and it looks like they might be gearing up to for another pitch, or even may make a pilot episode to pitch to potential investors. From what I know,
That'd be cool.
yeah, from what I know, I think 2 to 3 seasons have been written. Monarch G Team is not what... sorry, getting a little discombobulated here. My notes are terribly organized. Monarch G Team is also confirmed not to be one of the 2 Apple spin-off series that have been greenlit. So there's that. Now,
Oh, well, I didn't even realize it was going to be animated. That's-
yeah, it's supposed to be
that'd be pretty
animated.
cool.
Yeah. Hopefully it does happen. From the looks of it, it's capturing the vibes of old Saturday morning cartoons. So hopefully this happens. So, in terms of things that have been that have been greenlit, again, fantastic timing, because earlier today, it has been confirmed that Godzilla Kong 3 is happening, or the next film installment of the MonsterVerse is coming. And all we have thus far is that they've enlisted scribe Dave Callahan to write the script. Now, his previous works consist of Spider-Verse 2 and 3, Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 2, and, surprisingly enough, returning to form was also one of the writers for Godzilla 2014.
Whoa, I was very excited by all of those until I heard Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, I was literally just
Yeah.
about to make a comment about that.
I mean, 3 bangers out of 4?
Yeah, you're right.
No,
Pretty
Wonder
good
Woman
track
2's
record. You're right.
fucking rough.
That was bad,
But
man.
you said
Everyone's
you
split
said
out a
retu-
miss.
you said returning from 2014 is it Max Borenstein or?
No, he was
Someone else.
one of the writers of Godzilla 2014.
I know. I was asking if it was him because he's been on a few of them.
Yeah, it's like, you know how they will hire multiple writers to...
I know,
read
no,
those?
I
Yeah.
know.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
I mean,
Like,
it's
the
great
main...
'cause-
No, sorry?
It's great because like Legendary, I think they've pretty openly said that right before the release of GXK that the future of the MonsterVerse was up in the air, and even with the recent Monarch show, I think there was a lot of hesitancy around saying that it was going to be sticking around for a good while. So, especially after hearing this news, I feel like everybody's been able to have a little bit of a breath of, release a breath that they didn't know they were holding, and
Yeah.
we finally,
Maybe-
it's been confirmed that we're going to see Godzilla again in the MonsterVerse. It's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah. There was a...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny, right? After the opening weekend, I don't know if it's just me, but like I had no doubts because something about the way they were talking, like when they said up in the air, I always just translated as like if this makes money, we'll get another.
Yeah.
Easy. And as soon as I heard it made like it made its budget back plus more in its opening weekend alone, I'm like there's no way we're getting a sequel easy.
Right. Now,
Like
No, sorry, are you done?
I was saying like this usually like even the biggest movies, and sure this like it will probably cap out close to 600 mil, but not
Probably.
exactly.
Yeah.
But like yeah, you don't really hear about movies like, especially post 20 in the 2020s. You don't hear about movies making back their entire like budget on
Yeah.
their opening weekend. So yeah, to me it was a guarantee.
Yeah. So, on top of that, Adam Wingard expressed interest in making a third and potentially final film in this trilogy. However, despite this news, Adam Wingard has not been signed on to direct yet. Thus far, it's only this Callahan writer. And yeah, I do want to like clear the air about this real quick because despite Wingard saying he wants the third film to reach the same emotional highs as Godzilla vs. Destroya, a lot of people like took that to heart and stated that this confirms Godzilla's gonna die, Destroya's gonna show up, son of Godzilla, etc., etc. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think you
That's
can.
also the tone of that movie, eh? It
Yeah,
has a real specific like tone, sense of dread and sadness almost.
Yeah, yeah. I think you can achieve those same elements from Destroya without having the exact same plot beats as Destroya. So, yeah. Like, David made a really interesting pitch idea, which, yeah, we should hear about that soon. And finally... Right, Monarch Legacy of Monsters is getting its Season 2. It's been greenlit along with 2 spin-off series. We don't know anything about
Yeah.
them thus far. KDM kind of hinted that one of them might be focused on Kong, and the other, or the same one, has a working title that starts with C. And that's all we know thus far.
See.
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued about these spin-off shows. Like, what could they be? Because they're spin-offs of, not like MonsterVerse spin-offs, they're spin-offs of Monarch.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how they're going in this I'm kind of surprised how we're already getting 2 spin-offs, honestly, on top of season 2.
Yeah.
Like how well did Monarch Legacy of Monsters do in its initial run when it was streaming?
Well, I think it's one of Apple TV's like only big shows that people talk about.
Really?
Like, think of like what's exclusive to Apple TV. It's
yeah,
like
I mean,
Prehistoric
I quite
Planet.
like Apple TV, but
Prehistoric
you're right. It's kind of
Planet.
like Ted Lasso, and then Godzilla now, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's definitely probably one of their flagships
Yeah.
in terms of shows on that platform.
I guess I'm kind of surprised because I still don't really know what's carrying the MonsterVerse right now. Like, I could say it's Godzilla, but at the same time, could it also be Kong that's carrying it?
It's just the idea of big stupid monsters, right?
Or even
Yeah,
that? It's like,
I think the thing is, I think at least for the mainstream, they may not like adore these films, but I think people just like them, having them around. They're a good weekend filler for a lot of people.
right.
Like, it's just like, oh yeah, cool, let's see it, and then they make just enough money to keep. It's always like just enough money to keep going, because none of them really bomb. The closest was like King of the Monsters, even that it wasn't like that bad, and they already had versus Kong in the works, so they're like, we'll just do it and see what happens.
Right.
I think you
it's
guys
spot
know
on
the
because it's very like
Sorry.
the mainstream watch that show up for these
Totally.
movies. Like my wife's not a big Godzilla fan, but she'll show up to watch like a MonsterVerse movie new in theaters, and a lot of people that aren't necessarily into Godzilla or Kong but are big TV watchers. Like a lot of my friends started watching Monarch just because it was the new hit show, not because they had a love of the franchise. So it is just, I think like Godzilla's more accessible than ever. Big giant monsters bashing each other on screens is more accessible than ever, and it's pretty cool that people are showing up for it.
I'll jump on that as well and say, like, in the past year or so, we've had the big double event movies. We've had Barbenheimer, and I feel like Godzilla -1 and Godzilla X Kong, even though they didn't come out necessarily at the exact same time, I think that a lot of people look at those 2 movies and were excited about both of them just because of how different they were.
Played off
Yeah.
each other real well, yeah.
Yeah, and especially seeing the recent Japanese reactions for Godzilla X Kong, I feel like it's in as good a place as ever for continuing movies and extra media, because I don't know, it seems like even though it has a very different tone than other Godzilla and even Kong adaptations, it uses that to its advantage
Yeah.
rather than its detriment.
Yeah, like it's crazy that the time we're living in right now, pretty much this year, like the love of Godzilla is at its peak. The hype
Yeah.
around him, he is a household name now. Everyone shows up for anything Godzilla, and it's pretty crazy that it's like 2024, and that's what it's like.
Yeah, it honestly couldn't have been a better time to be a fan.
I also think we forget too. It's like Warner Brothers. They want like every studio.
Okay,
wants,
maybe not Warner Brothers.
Okay, like but every
Legendary.
studio wants a franchise just in general,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
At the end of
make-
the day,
make
this
them some
one
money.
works, so
Yeah.
they'll make some more.
Yeah.
Like think about how many random fucking movies get sequels just cause. Like the most dog shit movies ever will just get a sequel
The Tooth Fairy
Just-
2.
Yeah, because people pay
just
to
because
see
it made like
Yeah.
enough money.
Yeah.
So I guess like it's not too surprising.
Yeah, Planet
know?
of the Apes is right up there as
It's
one.
a Ouija too.
God.
You say Luigi too?
Ouija.
too is coming.
Yeah,
to
Luigi
as well. Yeah.
Ouija, like Ouija board.
Oh, Luigi! Luigi! I'm like, what? Did I miss something?
Well, even like a great example of that is the Pooniverse that's been announced.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Oh,
I still need to see
Winnie the
that
Pooh.
second movie,
Horror
man.
movies?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Blood and Honey.
Like
right.
Blood and Honey franchise is all the rage nowadays, bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny where people are getting a bit sick of like Marvel for doing franchises or DC for doing franchises. There's a lot of love for these kind of smaller bits of media or smaller franchises that are getting their time to shine now, which is cool.
Yeah. Alrighty, so I think one of the exciting things about these feature entries is that they're still pretty fresh. They're pretty hot off the presses, more or less. In that case, in that we don't really have directors or actors to really helm the projects yet. And out of curiosity, like probably not for these specific entries that have already been greenlit, but is there any director or actor you guys like to see in the next MonsterVerse installment?
Oh my goodness, what a question!
That's really hard.
I know. I try really hard. Like right off the bat.
I'd love to see.
No, sorry, you go.
Oh, you go, Rahul.
No, it's all right. You could go.
I was just thinking, like, I love Denis Villeneuve. Is that how you say his name? I'm not too sure, but the guy who's doing the Dune movies,
Right.
he did Blade Runner 2049. I really love just his visuals, and I think the way that he shoots things would be a perfect match for these Titans. But he's tied up with like a million movies he's signed on for at the moment.
Yeah.
But his sense of scope would be real cool to see in the franchise, I think.
Yeah. I think some folks would take that suggestion and say that the MonsterVerse can't go back, but I disagree. I think with Monarch Legacy of Monsters, it proves that we can have diverse genre films, more or less, where we have the
Smaller scale.
Yeah, like we have the kind of psychedelic, out there world building of the New Empire, but then the year prior we had the more grounded, smaller scale story of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Now that could be because of that could be because of where the film is placed, or what I think is really the director and what they wanted to do. So I think like going back to that with the Dune director would be both an appropriate change, and I think it would also kind of subvert general audiences' expectations on what the MonsterVerse could be.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. And in terms of like someone I'd add to the cast, I gotta chuck my boy Nick Cage in there. I've been a very vocal Godzilla fan for ages. The amount of photos of Nick Cage online wearing a Godzilla t-shirt, or holding a Godzilla poster, and they haven't cast him in a movie yet. You know, this guy's in the prime of his life right now.
Yeah, I think he was on.
You get him in a Godzilla flick.
Yeah, I think it was on an interview recently, and he was talking about Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire and how he wanted to work with Adam Wingard one of these days.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
I'll need to find that interview. I'll send it to you guys if I can find it.
I gotta say, he's prime material for a really good MonsterVerse villain.
Oh my god! No, Myles, no.
And Myles died.
Myles doesn't want to see Nick Cage as a MonsterVerse villain, like a terrible suggestion.
He's going to get Nick Cage right
sick.
now.
Sign him up.
All right. But yeah. Who else? Oh wait, he's typing up.
Oh, he's typing. Selfie with Nick Cage.
Oh no.
Oh, he cut out. He's gone.
No. Oh no. The solar flare got him.
God damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the solar flare.
Nick Cage
coming.
He's coming for me
Cage. We were spot on, Mike. He is going to be the next MonsterVerse villain. He didn't want that spoiled.
He's shown his potential by
shutting us
offing
up.
Myles.
Yeah.
He's gonna be Godzilla.
yeah.
But no CG. It's just gonna be a giant Nick Cage.
Oh,
Bring back the suit
dream.
actors. Imagine end of the movie, Godzilla suitmation. He takes off his head, takes off the mask. It's Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Face off. Godzilla crossover.
All right. Sorry again. It is like your voices are so similar. Jasha or Micah?
So sorry, that was Jasha. Micah, to you.
Yeah, sorry.
I have a hard time. I feel like directors aren't actually something I think about a lot of when I'm watching day-by-day movies.
Right.
So, I would love, and I don't know if MonsterVerse specifically would be the tone for it, but I would love a Godzilla movie that leans more into like the horror side of things.
Yes.
Right.
Thinking about Jordan Peele's
Oh.
recent Nope movie.
Right.
I don't know if it would fit in the current state of the MonsterVerse, but I would love someone like him to put more of a horror spin, because you could totally do a movie like that in the world of Godzilla.
That would be really
be-
interesting, actually.
That would be fascinating.
Yeah.
Even
Maybe.
if it was less of like a classic monster movie like we've been seeing now, but even
Yeah.
It'd be
something
interesting to
I don't
see,
know,
like, it would
have
be
a-
very... Sorry, you go.
Or even something more like a survivor-based movie of having
Yeah.
a family trying to escape from one of these kaiju attacks.
Yeah, actually, you know what I was thinking when you suggested Jordan Peele? I was thinking of the new Civil War movie, actually. Having a more grounded perspective and maybe even, follow
Yeah.
survivors, or even, like, going back to Godzilla 2000, Storm Chasers following the Titans.
Yeah, that'd
tracking
be
'em.
super cool to see in the MonsterVerse. That
Yeah.
Civil War call-out's a good one, because I think that was my favorite part of that movie, is that our focus is always on these journalists and their emotions and what they're going through.
Yeah.
It's so cool to feel that connection. And yeah, MonsterVerse movie, that's an awesome
And you
suggestion.
have a lot of the pro tags for MonsterVerse so far have been people who have been.
Oh, Miles is
back.
back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Miles is back.
Very
Got
nice.
it.
A lot of the protagonists have been so far people who have been a part of the action because of their expertise or because of their knowledge, and
Yeah.
chucking someone who's just totally out of depth.
Yeah, that'd be
Trying
fun.
Fish
to
out of water
survive.
would be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're talking about just putting a dude as the main character. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just
Nick
a
Cage.
random dude. You, Miles.
Just a dude.
You in the movie.
Let's go.
Yeah. What about a potential
I want
actor?
to die.
What about a potential actor, Micah?
Oh, there are too many.
Your boy Ryan Gosling, Micah.
Oh.
Come on.
Is Godzilla enough?
He's more than
No,
enough.
that's Kong's song.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kong off.
But yeah, actually,
Enough.
Ryan Gosling would have made a great trapper. Now I think about it.
Oh, he could have pulled.
Hey.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, he could pull the look, and with his acting, I think he could pull it off. Yeah. Especially with his performance as Ken.
Yeah. Just put Ken in the monster.
Just 10.
I mean, if I had
Just kidding.
if I had a quarter every time an actor plays a character who has the same name as another character in a different movie, I'd have too many quarters. I'd be a millionaire. What about you, Miles? Is there any director or actor you want to see in the MonsterVerse? Miles?
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm really bad with like remembering actors.
Even just films like
Yeah, like I think I would like to see like Tom Holland. I don't know.
oh, okay.
I like that guy's energy.
All right,
Oh,
yeah.
Tom Holland's not in much at the moment either. It'd be nice
Yeah.
to see him
Yeah.
again.
You just have him play that dude we were talking about earlier.
Oh, Trapper.
Yeah, he could be the random guy.
The dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He's just like a reporter for like a newspaper.
Actually, I think he could
Yeah,
pull off
just
a
a boss
reporter
that's
look.
yelling at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Young war photographer going through the shticks.
in love with
Not
the
even a
redneck
war
couple.
photographer.
Yeah.
I'm talking like this dude reports on cats stuck in trees. Like he's just a local newspaper, and their town is having like a small scale kaiju invasion or something.
Again, I was thinking like right back to Civil War.
Yeah, his town's being attacked by one of the 50 Mutos.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, you know what? That's
One-
a good way
one
to show
per
what
state.
the eggs hatch into. Actually,
That's actually.
Right.
so it's just like the baby Muto swarm in a small town with this one reporter who's trying to piece it together, and it's Tom Holland.
Right.
That's the movie.
Yeah. What about you, David?
So before I give my answers, there's actually something I wanted to mention about the Jordan Peele one, just because it's interesting because in his movies too, there's always a big emphasis on like race relations and racism and stuff. Even in Nope,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot going on, and it would be interesting to see him bring that to the MonsterVerse because there's actually a very easy avenue to do that. If the monsters, they represent natural disasters, right?
Yeah.
And usually natural disasters, they most heavily affect like impoverished communities and especially like minority communities and stuff. So
Right,
that right
yeah.
there, and that is like a case of the main character being more just like a regular guy, right? Just some dude trying to survive all this, right? And how hard that is for like those groups. That's the thought I had when you guys
Right.
brought up him. Now, in terms of directors, I'm gonna be normie as shit, right? I'm gonna toss out Del Toro because,
Yo, that's my choice.
Hey,
come on, it's like And see, if I had a second answer, it's also normie as shit because our boy Yamazaki
Oh.
just did like a deal to do like American movies or something,
Yeah.
like something like that.
yeah, that would be cool.
So, like,
I like it.
He's like, cause like we've, cause -1 exists and Pacific Rim exists, and that's
Yeah.
like all I need to say for that, right?
Yeah.
While we're pitching this movie, like especially on that point, like I think there would be a real cool idea of in a world that's where Monarch is so present, having a community that Monarch almost glosses over because there are other important countries or places to defend or other kaiju attacks going on, and focusing on a group of people which have almost been left to fend for themselves
Yeah.
while this other superpower is still in the midst of things. I think there's totally something there you could work with.
Yeah. I think,
Mhm.
yeah, like, I remember, David, you were talking about someone wanting to do a Monarch series way before Monarch Legacy of Monsters was even an idea, and it would focus more on the 50 sides, but it would be more like spies and espionage, rather than...
Oh, that
versus
hurts.
five.
See, that hurts to think about, cause
No, I know.
that guy
Yeah.
turned out to be a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
But he did have a fan made like thing he wanted to do. That was a Monarch show.
Yeah.
Who knows how it would have turned out? I think he gave up on that a long time ago. But yeah, but that was way before Monarch was even like a big thing in all these other in all these other movies.
So,
Yeah.
If I could change my answer real quick, well, not change, but like for an animated series, I would love to see like Genghis, like the guy who did Samurai Jack and Primal,
Oh, Genghis.
Kosuke.
Oh,
But
that's
dude-
such a cool idea.
because
Yeah.
that way I remember earlier we were talking about like David's point of just having the monsters, like just the monsters, no talking. He's very good at doing long sequences with no, like look at Primal season 1.
But dude, we already got Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire. That's basically Primal
Oh,
in the MonsterVerse.
Yeah, but like then you throw in the Samurai Jack human stuff where it's very light, but it's
The
there, and then
stylized
just
look as well.
yeah, like could you imagine Gindi Godzilla, Gindi Skull King poses?
Actually, you know what? To add on that, I think we're not that far away from getting a potential MonsterVerse anime, honestly, produced in Japan.
Whoa, how cool would that be?
That'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, like, it'd be cool because, for one, it brings Godzilla back home, this version at least.
Yeah.
It would have to be a collaboration effort between Legendary and whichever studio picks up the project. Might be the first time Toho also collaborates with them. On a production side rather than distribution side. And I think another reason why it's becoming more of a possibility is that the recent trend in anime now is taking Western IPs and making them into shows. Like, I think a really good example of this was last year's Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Or
Yeah. And like Star Wars is doing it more as well.
yeah,
with
Star Wars
some of their,
Visions. There's also some DC project like Batman Ninja and the Suicide Squad
That's right.
isekai. Yeah, and there's also like some other titles here, like Pacific Rim: The Black even got an anime, even though that was a Western IP. So I definitely think like both the anime market doing that and the MonsterVerse looking to expand. Eventually, I think we could potentially get a Japanese produced Godzilla anime. MonsterVerse anime.
That's a great point. I really like that idea.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool to see too.
Yeah.
Alright, awkward silence. I guess this is my time to shine.
Please give it to us.
Alright, so in Godzilla X Kong, we saw the appearance of Tiamat, so it's kind of open to interpretation that basically any monster from the comics and the novels even could appear. So, out of the 17 Titans that were mentioned in King of the Monsters, which one would you like to see in a future installment?
We'll say 17.
Okay, alright.
It's probably more than that.
Okay, alright, I'll name them out, sorry. So, in terms of
No,
the Titans...
I catch your drift.
Yeah.
Is there one called Yamato no Orochi? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see a MonsterVerse Orochi, man. Are you kidding me? Like
That'd
a
be
dragon
pretty
with
Yeah,
eight
that'd be
heads.
pretty fun. Would he even look
That'd
like
be
Ghidorah?
awesome.
No, because Orochi
I don't
is
know.
a
They can make him
snake
look different.
demon.
Yeah,
Mm.
So like he could be a lot like just a serpentine Hydra kind of creature.
yeah. I should
Yeah,
probably
that'd be
mention...
awesome.
Yeah, I should probably mention the monsters that haven't appeared yet are Abaddon, Amalek, Baphomet, Bunyip, Kraken from the novel, Leviathan, Mageiger, Mokella Membe, Quetzalcoatl, Sekhmet, Typhon, and as you mentioned, Yamato no Ryochi. So, yeah, who do you guys want to see?
We didn't get to see them much, but I would love for the McCallum and Bimbe to be in the movie.
Yeah,
a
that's
little bit more.
that's a second pick for me. In the novel, it does a little bit more, but again, it's just a novelization, so it's kind of like up to the imagination a little bit.
Did we ever
Yeah.
see that monster
In-
about or
in the
it's
movie,
unreleased?
It's all shadow.
Screen.
Yeah,
Okay, because I think Mikel Monday, that's like the South American Bigfoot thing, right? With
No,
the-
No,
that's
that's
the
a-
yeah,
African-
it's a
the
real life
African
cryptid.
dinosaur.
yeah.
Yeah, a dinosaur that's still apparently alive.
Oh, right, the small sauropod thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be pretty cool, actually. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind that.
what about you?
that-
What was the
Quetzalcoatl.
branchy, veiny one from the
Amalek.
Was that Huluk?
Yeah.
Amalek? Yeah, I think that would just be a crazy monster to see a CG or live action adaptation of as
Yeah.
well.
There is that Spiral Studio statue, so we kind of have a rough idea on what it might look like. Outside of comic pages, at least.
Hmm.
But yeah, for me, Amalek is definitely my pick.
Nice.
What about you, David?
Does it have to be one of those monsters?
Yes.
We'll go with Mikel Membe.
Oh, two folks from Mokella Membe.
I like the idea of it. I like the idea of it was like a sauropod-esque one, and like most of the others, like no, I changed my mind. Wendigo wasn't that one?
No.
Oh.
Wait, oh shit! I thought Wendigo was a title.
You're probably
That
mistaking.
would be cool though.
Yeah, you're probably mistaking it for one of Matt Frank's sketches. I think
Oh, maybe.
I think he.
No, I just remember
paired it
seeing
with
a map.
Amalek.
I remember seeing a map of all the Titans.
Yeah, that was
and, like,
fan
Wendigo
art.
was, like,
I
oh,
sent
shit,
it to
okay,
you.
the-
I remember sending it to you too.
You tricked me, you bitch. That's what your plan all along. You made a fool out of me. In your head. I'll go with Mikel Membe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess on top of that, there's also been a lot of discussions on what classic monsters we'd like, classic Toho monsters we'd like to see in future installments. Is there anyone that you guys had in mind that you want to see?
Okay.
Ooh.
Have you
all the way.
have you guys
I
heard
guess this
about
will be-
G?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Nice.
No, sorry.
I guess this will be the last section.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, no, don't worry. Anyways, have you guys heard about Gia Biolante?
Gia.
Gia?
Oh yeah, this theory that
Yeah.
Gia is gonna
Yeah.
become violent.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
The
there's,
Yeah.
girl
like
to
it.
become Biolante. I don't know if you
Oh,
want to
that
kill
would
her
be
off like that.
Insane. She could be like trapped in the core, and then they get her out.
Yeah.
I guess.
Or
But then
something.
you can't reuse Biolante.
No,
And it
like
already
she'll be
feels like Gia's
inside
got-
Biolante.
Right.
It feels like she's got a lot going on though, right? She's got a connection with Kong now. She's got a connection with Mothra. It's crazy, like making all these kaiju connected
She's
to Gia.
the crux. She's the nexus
Yeah.
of them all.
Yeah.
I
She, like,
want
had a
Jet
little moment
Jaguar.
with Godzilla.
I want freaking Jet Jaguar, guys.
Oh.
That'd be down. If we're getting another
Suit
mech
up in a
monster,
mech.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'll throw my vote out there. I think, I mean, any Heisei kaiju, because we haven't seen, I want to say any of them, bar Mechagodzilla, in another adaptation yet for live action. I think any of them would fit real well.
You're talking about Dagara from Rebirth of Mothra 2?
That's the one.
Fantastic.
No, but I think that Ebirah would be a super easy monster to chuck into the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
He would
because
kinda
a
just
lot of the
slide
other
in.
titans. Yeah, a lot of the other titans so far have been based off of more naturally occurring animals or flora and fauna. I feel like Ebirah could fit in there super easy.
Yeah, I could see Ebro working as well. Who
see him as
has
like
a-
one of the Hollow Earth kind of like background creatures, like Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy as.
Yeah.
I'll chuck it to you then next, Miles.
Mostly
Uh,
Biolante, I think.
yeah, Biolante is my go-to, but like another one like King Caesar, I think would be
Oh,
pretty
King
cool.
Caesar could work really well, actually.
Oh,
Just have him like hiding in a mountain and then like
and
Yeah,
we
we
need
need
another
another
song.
song.
epic orchestral version of the King Caesar
Yeah.
song.
Oh, no.
Oh, now you're talking.
Give
by
me a
Blue
musical.
Oyster Cult.
No, cooking.
Blue Oyster Cult.
All right.
No,
The guys who
they
did
did
Go
the
Go
original.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
No, but remember, the version of the movie is a cover from Surge, Tekken from System of a Down, and Bear McCreary.
Right.
So we need System of a Down to sing King Caesar's song.
Yeah.
All right. David, you go, and we'll round this down with the last question.
Yep. For mine, so bit unorthodox and maybe a bit redundant, but I kind of love to see it just cause I want to see. I actually want. Okay, hear me out. They find a second King Ghidorah that's like half the size, has the hair, has like the fur, and is good aligned.
mane,
So it's the
yeah.
GMK Ghidorah in the
Oh.
MonsterVerse.
Right.
I thought you meant like Luda Ghidorah, whatever it's
Oh,
called.
he's like small. He's like a little buddy now.
Oh.
To his
That is a
little friend.
wild pick, and I love it.
Right. For me, it's a hard choice because for me, I view the MonsterVerse more like the Heisei era, where it's building its own mythology, so creating new monsters and making
Yeah.
them memorable through that.
It's a good comparison.
Yeah, like the most talked about monster about the Heisei era is not their rendition of King Ghidorah, Mothra, or Mechagodzilla. Rather, it's Destroya and Biolante, and for better or for worse, Space Godzilla. So I would prefer them to do more new and unique monsters like Scar King and Shimo. But if I had to choose, Batra probably, because
Yes,
Cool.
thank you.
I really like the idea of her adding on to Mothra's lore and, giving, both characters even more depth and
Oh no, what would
exploring
be
the
great
monsters.
with that?
what.
Bring Ghidorah back and have Batra be his spirit animal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
but
Space
wait, what
Godzilla
if, what
against
if
Batra.
wait. Rahul's cooking here. What if Gia had like a corruption arc or something?
Oh.
And then
No.
the new Mothra morphs into Batra.
Oh God.
We need
That'd
a
be
dark
kinda cool.
counterpart for Gia.
But let's just-
I posit Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh my god.
Nah, stick
Is the
her into
equivalent to
Biolante.
No, it will be Bernie.
Oh no.
Birdie.
He actually cracks under conspiracies.
Too
Yeah.
many negative
Okay, but let's
reviews
be honest,
on that podcast.
none of us are really cooking here because none of us said giant condor.
Oh, you're right. Or Manila. My boy Manila, just to
Oh,
go
son of
alongside
Godzilla.
Zuko.
I feel like a baby. I feel like baby slash little Godzilla is kind of a guarantee in the future at some time. I feel like it just has
they
to
have
happen.
to do it, right?
The biggest and only death flag Godzilla needs.
Honestly.
A baby Godzilla. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna round down a bit. So, last question. So we were talking about this a while ago, and he made a really good point about how, and I also like added on to this earlier, how the MonsterVerse is like in a very unique position where they can add more titles to their universe and separate themselves from the other cinematic universes and make it truly the most ambitious crossover in the history of cinema. So, out of curiosity, what named property do you guys want to see crossover with the MonsterVerse? Now, this could be anything. This could be like Ultraman, Gorgo, Gamera, you name it, we'll talk about it.
Oh my goodness.
And
That's a
also,
hard question.
and let the record show, Legendary allowed Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, so anything's in.
You're right.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pretty boring. I'd like to see, and I know like Transformers did it, but I'd love to see medieval like Godzilla. Or
Oh,
kaiju,
really?
like medieval
Yes.
MonsterVerse. Like give me the
Honestly?
legend of King Arthur, but they're having to deal with Godzilla or another one of the Titans rising up alongside them.
I really thought you were going to say G.I. Joe and Godzilla.
Give me G.I. Joe.
Oh
Kind
my
of
God.
thought you
Please
were
no.
too when you said Transformers. I'm like, they are doing that G.I. Joe
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Honestly,
God.
I want Anthony Hopkins as Merlin in a Godzilla movie, please. Thank you.
honestly, we need more Godzilla films that are period pieces. I think it's such
yeah,
a
I reckon
missed
that'd be
opportunity.
awesome, man.
Yeah, I think it's such a missed opportunity that we don't have him in places where he's kind of alien. We're so used to him in the cities, but throw him in a different time period and have him wreak havoc. Yeah, it's like I will never stop kicking Singular Point for not taking place during the war era of Japan. But yeah, like I would love to
Yeah,
see
that
a
would've been
Godzilla
cool.
film taking place during the medieval ages. I actually have one planned myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't wait to see it.
I think, yeah,
I-
like Godzilla during like the Sengoku Jidai or something. The
Yeah.
fucking clan warfare era. That'd be sick.
Yeah. All right. So who went out of you two again?
That was Jasha. Over to you, Mike.
I will say, I think that you could totally do a live-action Justice League adaptation. And Starro is right there. We saw them recently in the Suicide Squad.
Right.
The giant
Yes.
starfish kaiju. I feel like that would be a real cool crossover to see.
Yeah.
Starro versus MonsterVerse Godzilla.
Because has that happened before?
I don't think.
I want to
so.
say there's been talks about that.
I mean, we might get it in the final issue of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah,
man.
you're
It's
right.
probably going to happen anyway. So I'm
God,
probably
imagine
informed.
like King Shark trying to like nibble on Godzilla's toe.
Like, I
So
think that
good.
Starro thing actually has more weight than you think, because Starro just finished being like the main villain of a major arc
Yeah.
with like Beast Worlds,
Oh well.
Right.
where like Beast
Hey.
Boy becomes Starro and they fight each other.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
That
like
only
Starro is relevant again right now. Like he's been in Suicide Squad. He was a major Justice League villain recently. So yeah, it's
Right.
pretty light. I would say that's high.
Yeah. But what about you, Miles? Is there any named property you'd like to see crossover into the MonsterVerse? Make it stronger.
I don't know. Like other than the obvious ones, like Gamera,
I mean, you
Yeah.
could go
it's hard to
Gamera.
pick. Like if I had to go like crazy, like Dinobots, like
Oh, from Transformers?
yeah, like not like Transform, like the Beast Bot. Like they're still Transformers, but like
Beast Wars.
Beast
Yeah.
Wars Transformers style with like Snaggletooth
Right.
or something.
Oh, Beast Wars. Right.
Purple Megatron with the rubber.
No,
duck,
yeah.
Because they're already giant monsters. Not like to that scale, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. And, David? I already know what I'm gonna pick.
Yeah, I'm I was trying to think of something as your thing, but like nothing
I think,
specific. I mean,
David,
easy
not
answers
to
like
speak for
Pacific
you.
Rim.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought you were going to say like
Let's see.
Friday Night Lights, just so you can get more Kyle Chandler, right?
yeah, of
David?
course, yeah. That
Just a
one.
Friends crossover.
No. I want a crossover with like one of those BBC documentaries about wolves, and then he can like narrate. the wolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, no, that's my answer. Like a Planet Earth style documentary with Godzilla.
that'd be awesome.
Oh.
There's a YouTube channel who's doing that basically.
Yeah, actually,
David Attenborough collaboration.
Actually, yeah. There was a time when Mike DeGrady was pitching a potential idea of a Godzilla BC kind of film, where it's just the monsters and very, very little to no human characters. Do you guys think that
that'd be
could
so-
even work?
That's cool.
That would be awesome. Once again, maybe a bit too experimental. I think you need like, I think to sell it, you'd need like the narrator. Like
Yeah.
get like Attenborough on there or something.
Yeah. It'd be fun. And also I think like another advantage would be to clear up the timeline a bit, because I think in the MonsterVerse there's like 3 great Titan Wars we know about, and we don't know if they're the same or separate.
I'd probably just add a 4th and never.
How many times did Godzilla fight Shimu again? What do you mean Shimu froze Ghidorah? For me, I'm there with David. I think Pacific Rim, mainly because it's probably the safest bet.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like, I know a lot of people want to see, like, Gamera, Ultraman, and other Titans, join in, but I think the problem there is that a lot of them aren't as popular as Godzilla or Kong, and, they don't really have much leeway here in the West. I mean, like, Japan hasn't even done their own Godzilla versus Gamera film, so I don't think there's really much of an interest here in the Western side for anyone to pick up the IP, and that in itself is a risk. So with Pacific Rim, Legendary already owns the IP, so there's little to no risk in obtaining it and trying to make back your budget even more. And also, I think it'd be a great way to reinvigorate the Pacific Rim IP that's been kind of in limbo for the past couple of years.
It's been a bit dormant, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like Pacific Rim is probably both the smartest and best answer.
And then we
on
get
my end.
Guillermo del Toro to direct it.
Yeah.
Done. Perfect.
Yeah. Alrighty, and yeah, I guess that's our MonsterVerse retrospective. Good lord, I think that's 3 hours.
We
Close
could go
to.
on forever though. Like honestly, there's so
Yeah.
much to talk to with
Yeah,
the
the-
MonsterVerse and where it could lead.
For
And I
sure.
think that it just sounds like all of us are just excited for it, which is a cool place to be in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, would love to do this again, honestly. Dead silence. Alright, thank you,
That's how
everybody.
we end it.
No, yeah, totally. Yeah.
But yeah, Micah, Jasher, thank you so much for coming on. Also, can't believe I forgot to mention this, but congratulations on finishing Season 3 of Podzilla and going on to Season 4, where you guys are covering the Gamera series now.
Yeah, thanks. No, it was awesome to be invited on to finally, get to chat about Godzilla. And yeah, we just do a weekly podcast called Podzilla. You can find us anywhere. And we've done an episode on each and every Godzilla movie or Godzilla TV show, everything in the MonsterVerse. And yeah, we're just starting on camera, like Repod said.
And like we talked about before, we are covering the tie-in comics that is linked to our Patreon, but subtle plug here. Real cheap, only a few bucks if you are interested in a podcast focusing on that tie-in media.
Yeah, but no, honestly, thanks for having us on. This was really
thank
fun,
you
guys.
thank you for coming on.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice meeting you.
yeah, really appreciate
Very nice
it.
to meet you, Wallace.
Hope we could do this again sometime.
Yeah, I'll add you all to a Kyle Chandler fan club group chat, and we can talk about planning.
Let's go!
Of course.
But yeah, is there anything else anyone else wants to plug? David?
Not yet.
Oh,
Alright,
okay,
alright,
David.
I see.
Alright.
Alright, that's how you want to play it. Myles, are you working on anything?
No.
I will say I am in talks with Nicolas Cage about something, but
Uh-oh.
can't reveal that yet, though.
Finally gonna get Godzilla versus the Wolfman out.
I would
Oh,
pay
watch
for
this
that.
space.
Yeah, there's an actual fan film of Godzilla fighting
Yeah.
the Wolfman, and it's been in
Get it
limbo
into
for
the
the
MonsterVerse.
longest time. Yes. That's the monster I want to see in the MonsterVerse.
Just a werewolf.
That and the big skeleton bridge. Yeah. I think for me, a better question would be, what am I not working on? But, yeah, I think since this is coming out on, what was it, May 16th? Yeah, May 16th. I'm going to do a small anthology series on the MonsterVerse called Remnants. And, yeah, the teaser should be out by now. On May 16th. Along with that, there's like a
cool.
bunch of... Along with that, there's like a bunch of other animated projects that I'm working on, but we'll get there when we get there. But
I'm excited for them.
yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you everybody for watching. We will see you all next time.
Bye.
Adios.
See ya later.